With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Tonight, the drivers of the PRL Truck Series are headed to Richmond Raceway for the next round of the PRL Truck Series. Welcome, everybody. My name is Derek Watson. I'm here alongside with Lorenzo Bonder here. Terry Radford has the night off, and of course, Dustin Allis is the monkey pushing the buttons in the background of tonight's stream. Well, Lorenzo, here we are at Richmond, one of the shortest tracks on the schedule. What do you expect to see tonight?
I'm praying a little big Jesus that we don't get a lot of the yellow flags. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yellow flags definitely could be part of the discussion tonight. Maybe a lot of time to fill, but we'll see if we can avoid those as the night goes on. Well, it's been an interesting season all year long with the schedule. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, remind you where we are on the schedule. We're here in round number 6. This is the first time we'll see the drops come into play, by the way. After tonight, we go to Michigan, then Lucas Oil, or IRP, depending upon your age and what you know it as. We'll go to Watkins Glen International with a cup layout, and then we'll finish off at the Milwaukee Mile. That's pretty interesting schedule left, Lorenzo.
Yeah, it is. I think we're at our second shortest track of the season. I think shortest might be IRP. I think IRP is a half a mile or a no, not half a mile, but I think it's bigger than a half a mile. But anyway, it's short. It's kind of hard for you to navigate through Richmond. It's a little bit of qualifying matters the most. So we're gonna touch upon that later on. But it's an interesting track for trucks more than probably we're gonna be seeing with the Xfinity later on. But they're not touching that on the ovals. They're touching road, as we're gonna be talking about that much later in the broadcast.
That's right. This is one of those weeks where the two schedules do not line up, and we'll talk about that later. But first, let's talk about the points. As I said, this is the first week where the drops matter. So those are automatically added into the points you see on screen. So Dallas Sullivan holds a 1-point lead over Kevin McGarvey. Then Alan Dice is in third on this screen, with Cody Atkins, Dylan Schmidt, Dalton Geyer, Matthew Karakoff, Richard Pruitt, Zach Panzarella, and Brett Adams here on screen in your top 10. Let's go ahead and look at the teams real quick. Loaded Dice Racing, they're with DDI Motorsports all day, and then Black Flag Racing, Ride and Shotgun, DDI Motorsports, Team CPR, Love Racing, Whataback, Consult Info, and Bull Creek Racing round out your top 10 there in those points. All right, well, there is a look at the points as they stand on the screen. We'll take a look at those and make sure those are accurate as the night goes on. But it's about time for qualifying to begin. This is a quick qualifying run. They're just finishing up practice here on track. Now, Lorenzo, let's talk about the sponsors that make tonight possible. Let's start with Advanced Sim Racing. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers, Advanced Sim Racing designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable aluminum profile racing simulation cockpits available in the market today. All PRL members also receive a 5% discount on all ASR products using the Precision5 coupon code. Next is RaceSpotTV. Racebox offers mid and high-end button boxes for sim racing enthusiasts, from the casual gamer up to the most meticulous of sim racing drivers. Competitively priced and carefully handcrafted, our button boxes are an enjoyable addition to any sim racing setup. Visit raceboxsimracing.com and get a 5% discount code using the Precision5 coupon code. Next, the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products are an incredible immersion and they add realism to every game you play. Feel every nuance and truly put yourself in the driver's seat with a Butt Kicker. Next is Mecha Sim Hardware. Mecha Sim Hardware is a small company from the Czech Republic, and their goal is to produce high-quality sim racing hardware. If you're looking for high-end pedal sets, handbrakes, or sequential shifters, visit Mecha Sim Hardware's eShop right now to get up to speed. Then Moradness. Moradness is a professional lifestyle brand motivated by motorsport and founded by professional race car driver Daniel Morad. For more information, visit moradness.com. And then our newest sponsor, Mr. Hedge. Mr. Hedge is a racing photography, and they will capture your finest, proudest, or simply, well, honestly, sometimes your worst moments from your hobby in up to 8K resolution. They're a great addition to any sim room or any space you have in your home. Well, there we go. There is our sponsors for the evening, and through all that, qualifying has kicked off here, Lorenzo. As our music fades out in the background here, let's go and take a look at the 5 truck here. I think he's on his out lap here at Richmond.
Yeah, Alan died, so we were taking a quick lap, and he was talking a little back to the broadcast it's kind of a home track for him, you know, since he comes from Winchester, Virginia, so area home, so he's going to try to do his best going into this race and have a good finish, maintain the points lead, you know, but and then that win on Pocono, that came to him, it was a late dominant matchup for him, so that came up clutch for the number 5, and let's see if he can carry through this qualifying session so he can be up in the board.
Yep, take a look here. We saw him turn that first lap there.
Well, I have to speak up more so I can give confidence to the drivers. I think when I speak, they get confidence.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it. We saw Alan Dice finish his run. We saw Robert Goff there. This will be CM Pennington in that beautiful number 44 yellow and blue machine. He's going to ride through the bottom of the corner and track all the way out as much as possible. This will be the back straight here at Richmond. They'll say just to the outside of that first groove, looks like. And come back out here, and this will be 22.5 and 6.9. That will put him somewhere on the board that I missed his name. 16th on the board here.
Let's see what his second lap it's gonna be here, Derek. I don't think it's gonna be much of a mess improvement. Oh, it is going to.
Oh, it is an improvement. I was going to agree that typically drivers do not improve on their second run, but he did. That's a 22.374. That puts him to P11. And meanwhile, Colton Easterday just spun on his qualifying lap. Not who we're seeing on screen. Someone I call off screen. I apologize.
And for me, taking these lines, it's kind of interesting. I come from open wheel background, so I used to drive the Lara IR18 around these tracks. You know, a little bit of a wiggle for the 79 over there, but keeps it in the track. So Shonen might be able to do his lap. We'll take a look at that in a little bit to see how that was. But it's a little bit of a more interesting line these trucks take, you know, and well, NASCAR cars in general, instead of the IR18, you can be more tight with the lines with the IR18. In here, you kind of have to be more, I'm trying to find a better word, you know, more swift, more delicate with your approach. You don't want to turn in way too early, so you probably would lose speed in the mid-apex between 1 and 2. And not get the speed outside into the backstretch and head yourself into turn number 3.
Yeah, definitely a different driving line between the Indy cars and the NASCAR cars here at Richmond. Of course, both have driven here in the past. We'll talk about that later. This is Richard Pruitt we're on board with. He was P20 after his first lap, the 22.606, and I think this lap is going to be basically equivalent. He's going to move up 2 spots, move to a 25.93. All right, well, that's going to pretty much wrap up qualifying. We have some time left on the board here, about 40 seconds or so. I think we have one driver who did not qualify yet. He's not in the session. That's Zach Panzarella, so we'll probably wait and see if he can connect. But so far, Alan Dice is your pole sitter and will gain the points for being on poles. That's a good run for Alan Dice. As you said, he thinks this is a home track for him, Lorenzo.
Yeah, definitely. It's like whenever you are at those home tracks, for me, it's kind of like Brazil. I'm Brazilian, so Interlagos would be the home track for me. You usually have tendencies to be more comfortable pushing the lines or knowing where the sweet spots are going to be. That's why I'm not impressed at all to see Dice up in the board so far. And with qualifying basically done and dusted, it's going to be quite interesting how these first few laps will shake out and if Dice can break away a little bit, because I think more so than on other tracks, clean air is your friend here.
Yeah, speaking of shaking out, let's see how the grid shook out. Starting on the pole is Alan Dice with Hayden Palumbo on the outside in P2. Kevin McGarvey and Steve Lovey make up row number 2, with Cody Atkins and Barron Hilton rounding out row number 3. Moving on to row number 4 is Ryan Traver and Brett Adams, with Matthew Karakoff and Austin Hunter there in row 5. Colton Easterday and C.M. Pennington 11 and 12. 13th and 14th, Adam Schoen with Thomas Brindle to the outside. Alex Hillman in 15th with Thomas E. Manuel in 16th. Dallas Sullivan, your former point leader, all the way back in 17th with Thomas E. Massey on the outside in P18. Robert Goff and Richard Pruitt make up your next row, with Edward Peltz and Oliver Guff rounding out your top 22. And then Ronald Overbay, Stephen Kirby, 23-24. And then your last two tonight, everyone turned a lap in qualifying, Stacy Hunter and Zachary Austin. Without setting a lineup here, and Panzarella did not turn the time. I know I mentioned his name. He is in the session, so he will start back in P27. He's not on the race spot graphic since he didn't turn a lap there, so he is there. Well, this will be 2 pace laps to get us lined up and ready to go. Lorenzo, if you could think of 1 or 2 keys to victory here for a driver in a race at Richmond, what would they be?
For the lead, breakaway as early as you can. Count as most green flag runs as possible. And if you're far in the back, right around the outside of the top 10, I would say make moves early, because, like I said before, this race can be a break or make race depending on how many green flag runs we will have before the yellow flag comes out. Oh, it's gonna come. By the way, it's gonna come.
Yep. Last week, of course, at Pocono, this was the cleaner of the 2 series. The truck series went caution-free, and then the Xfinity series that we'll have right after was the troubled kids, so to speak. So we'll see what happens tonight here at Richmond. All right. This is our first pace lap around, so the pace car will not pull down. All short tracks in iRacing, we get 2 pace laps. He's pulling down. His lights are off, but I'm pretty sure he's still going to go around one more time. All right, so here we go. This will be the last time around. So the driver's kind of getting comfortable, learning pace, speed. And as you said, I think patience is the key word tonight, Lorenzo. Patience at a short track is so important, right?
Yeah, it is 100% important, especially if you are far in the back. You are by like P20, P22, because either you're not going to make moves early because everybody's going to have the same mindset, or you really want to go desperate out of the gates, and because of it, you might get yourself into early trouble. So you need to time your stuff right, and as we're going to get the green flag over here, let's see what the mindset for those guys on the top 15 and back are going to have as we're going to get the green flag. Barney's ready.
I see Barney's got the 9 up. You see there's a substitute flag man in the sand tonight. The pace car is down. Any moment now, green flags out at Richmond in the PRL Truck Series.
We're going to have to find the name for Barney's replacement now.
Very well, but speaking of replacements, so far there's no replacement for the lead. Alan Dice will lead us to the line, but that is all we get to as the yellow flag is already out.
Yeah.
Well, let's start the count at home. Caution number 1.
caution number 1. Derek, how many cautions do you think this race will have?
Well, we're limited due to the clock, so
Yeah.
how many ever we can fit in 40 minutes would be the most we could have.
So we got about 22 seconds per lap on a green flag, about a minute, 45 to a minute on a yellow flag. So you got about 4 minutes total if we're counting 4 laps. One of the yellow flag comes out.
We can do about 10 of them.
4 minutes. We could do 10. We could do 10.
Yeah.
What does chat think? Chat needs to know as well.
Let's find out. Let's take a look here. As you see, Alan Dice with that fastest lap under caution of 42.5.
Blazing.
Right?
Blazing.
So let's go ahead and take a look here. If we have a replay loaded up, I've not heard my ears. If we don't know, here it is. In 79 to Adam showing. Watch and see what happens here. I'm going to drive it in deep. Oh no. I think he drove it in deep and then tried to correct it. And then just got in the brakes too hard, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and I think the car behind made contact. Was just trying to look which car made contact on his side panel, if at all. But it is that thing, also, gold tires over here, these trucks, they do not take those tires, nice and easy. So it's quite tricky for you to navigate them. So I'm not surprised to see a lap 1 yellow flag.
All right, let's take a look on board Alex Hillman here. Let's see, this is the car you thought may have made contact. You see Adam's already spinning ahead. Yeah, a little bit there. Just tried to avoid it and realistically had nowhere to go. And contact is made. And I think, Lorenzo, that's an important thing we can talk about already with that first replay there is how fast cautions happen here and what little time you have to do anything about it. There was nowhere for him to go besides forward, right?
No, not at all. Outside of 4, and you expect the car, just because it is spinning towards the inside portion of turn number 3 and going to 4, you expect, the car is just gonna drift out into the apron and everything's gonna be fine. And your spot is gonna be okay. Go left, go left, go left, go left, go left, until whenever you see that car coming up to you and your spotter says go right, and you have nothing else to do than banging on the side panel. That's a little bit unfortunate, but that's just the nature of can we call Richmond an arena-based track of sorts because it is short?
Yeah, you could. Well, we did it once. We got a lap in, Lorenzo, and here we see everyone's piled up 2 wide, the double file here.
Go.
Lights are out on the pace car. Once again, that pace car sedan is going to pull in, and Alan Dice will control the lead here. And at any moment now, for the second time tonight, the green flag is out here at Richmond. Alan Dice got an incredible jump. Yeah, look at that. We're watching on screen here the battle of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. You see Alan Dice pacing the field out of 1 here. Got a beautiful jump.
I thought Adams was going to make contact on that number 23, I think, with Steve Lovin, and also what it looked like to be the number 87 as well, 81 as well, but no contact whatsoever.
Nope, no contact yet. We got a lap in, so we've gone farther than the first time.
Yes.
Now we'll keep riding around, but look at them 2 wide back through the field. So everyone knows here how important it is to pass. Now, Lorenzo, in my experience here in the trucks, I find it easier to pass on the outside. Oh, hold on, I got to turn around. No yellow light. If you can keep it moving, that's the 98 machine. Trying to get a number or a name on that one.
Oh no.
He's about to spin it again. This is definitely going to Ronald Overbay. That's going to bring that out.
Hey, think of it this way. At least we got 2 laps in. Oh no! Oh no.
Wow.
And that's a no-no.
That is a no-no on both sides, in my opinion, because, yes, that you may have an argument that Ronald was moving the truck while just cars come around, but when the caution is out, just move to the top of the track. Like, I don't understand that mentality. Yeah. We'll take a look back in a second and see who we make contact with.
Yeah. Looks like to be about himself. I think the same situation is shown. Yeah, same situation is shown initially. The only difference is that there was a car in front of him, from what it looks like.
This is the first time. Now, here he is. He's going to get moving down the back. At this point, we're still green.
Oh, we go. pits already.
Pits are already open. We'll cover that in a second. He just spun it around again. That's this caution right there because that truck's too far into the racing surface. Now we'll keep watching here in a moment. Right, here. Oh my goodness.
All right, I'll be honest. I don't blame whoever made the contact on the fast lane because it is quite simple. I think the yellow flag hasn't been triggered by then. If it did, you're not gonna have time to brake on a truck like this. How much these trucks weigh? About like 2 tons. So you're not gonna get 2 tons of steel and American steel and things like that, like a Formula One, and expect you can make like cold trickle moves and be cleared about it. No, it's not gonna happen. Not in here. Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, sorry, I was a little slow on the call there. It was Ryan Traber in the 03 is the truck that made contact. Let's see. This might be that look right here. He's just going to back up and nothing Ryan can do.
Yeah.
Now, the good news at Richmond, Lorenzo, we're not at Daytona. We're not at Dega. We're not at, Atlanta. Yeah, it sucks to have body damage, but it's not the end of your night like a bigger track would be.
No, but it's not. But because it is on the front panel, it's gonna take a little bit of the pressure, and the car might get a little bit understeery as laps go on. So it might become more difficult for you to make overtakes and things like that, or even keep up with someone in front of you. Of course, not the track that is gonna generate the most dirty air, like you probably would get. Pocono is a good example. We went to Pocono. Pocono generates a lot of dirty air for these trucks, so it's not like that. It generates, but you can be riding the draft a little bit more clear. But it's one of those things that if you get body panel maybe on the side, a scratch, things like that, oh, you're fine. In the front, that's a whole other story for you to tell to your friends.
Yep. Now we're under caution again. This is caution number 2 for those keeping score at home with the follow along game. So we're here.
Don't do drinking games though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that for this, but see, lights on the pace car are still on, so we're gonna go one more time around, at least. So I'm gonna ask you here with how important track position is here. If we stay kind of having these spurts of yellows, is there any moment where you think Alan Dice pits during this race, or did he just stay out and just keep the lead like that?
Can you even do that for a whole stint? Of course.
With this many yellows, he could for sure. Yeah, if we go green for a while, it could come in question. But if we stay yellow, I'm sure he could stay out.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. If I see more 4 yellow flags being thrown out, then I can start believing. You can do this in a whole single stint. But I've been proven wrong so many times in ovals that I wouldn't be surprised if I get proved wrong again. As we're gonna get our second restart of the race.
Yep. So our admin Charles Summers reminding these drivers to not overdrive it and be patient. But once again, that pace car set in is going to come down pit road. That long drive there. Alan Dice is there and lead, and green flag is out for the 3rd time here at Richmond. Once again, Dice with an incredible jump here on P2. Battle again, side by side, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like it was last time, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and McGarvey with a really good start right there, holding that inside line and contending against Palumbo and Lovin on that outside. But now I think the natural layout, it might be losing a little bit of ground. But so far, everybody keeping it clean as we get our first fast lap of the race on the second restart.
There you go, that purple text on the left side banner indicates that Kevin McGarvey currently has the fastest lap of the race, so we'll keep an eye on that, see if anyone can beat it. Now, right before we went yellow, Lorenzo, I was saying that my preferred line to pass here is on the outside. In your experience at Richmond, do you have a preferred line, or do you just like to follow the momentum?
The outside, it's like if it is the first laps of if you have new tires and things like that, and you are on crunch time, it's inside the entire time. You might have to dive down and maybe hold it in lane 1 to lane 2 and see if you can get away on the exit to the backstretch. But as the race goes on, I'm 100% with you. Outside line all day, every day.
Yep, speaking of digging it in, you see that happening back here in the back of the field here. The cars all across this track are racing each other as hard as they can be. This battle here, that's the 03. That's the Ryan Tramer. We just talked about him. got the damage done, and here he is back in the fight. And I think that pass puts him at P19 here. That was right around Oliver Guff and others. Thomas Emmanuel, I believe, is the car he just passed right there.
Yeah, and good to see these guys who got some contacts early on can repair their bodies, even if there's a few optionals here and there for you to take care of, but it still be racy, like you said before. And now you can see a little bit of a breakaway from Dice, 8/10 of a second, that separates him in more than 3-4 car length to Palumbo, but more importantly, McGarvey holding very well that outside line early on against Lovin, even though that number 27 is looking racy on that inside line.
Certainly is, and the 77 is doing pretty well on the outside as well. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th, live right in front of your screen here as we're following on lap by lap here at Richmond. You see the clock ticking down at the top of your screen. I do not believe we're officially at the clock yet, but that's likely going to be the end of our races when that clock hits 0. I'll check the laps in just a moment for you. But here already now, Lorenzo, they're starting to single file out. What's the advantage of going single file?
You know, you can kind of dictate the line, see how the other drivers behave in front of you. If you got something behind, see how it is going to, you know, look in terms of aggressiveness, approaching a corner and things like that. For example, I think a good example was I think that was Cody Atkins merging into that single lane, kind of like blocking Adams' lane into turn number 3 and generating some dirty air that made the number 33 wide into turn number 4. So those things will play out early on. Mind games in Richmond are constant, and if you're not up to the speed of what's going on, and you're not in sync with your spotter, you can have a long day over here, and it's not the best of days.
Yep, it can be a long day indeed. I want to come back on something I said. I said I wasn't sure. Now I am sure we will finish under the clock. We've already had too many cautions we will not complete.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was interesting. We will not complete all 107 laps, but here you see that Flamin' Hot Cheetos machine. Thomas Brendel getting a little spicy here out of turn 4.
Yeah, I think those tires got a little bit of flaming hotness in them. I don't know if it is going to be as sweet and sour as Cheetos does. I haven't had a flaming hot Cheetos.
You got to have yourself a flamin' hot with the lime flavoring.
Like on top of it, and like put up the lime in it, or
no, they come that way. Yeah.
Really?
But yeah. By the way, if we can take a look back at the 45 machine, he was just yelling out that he was having a hard time holding onto the machine a second ago. That'd be Zachary Austin. Has fallen back here in that beautiful Flamingo machine. That's very part of Regenboog Motorsports here in the Truck Series. Of course, Regenboog has been dominant in the Xfinity side. Yep. But Zachary Austin's had a hard time here. And look at that car, it's just kind of wobbling. You see that, Lorenzo? That's just that truck does not look stable. I don't know. Maybe on the back straight, I thought I saw it wobble.
Yeah, let's look at it again over here as he approaches turn number 1. These cars, that's why I respect NASCAR drivers. You know, they are much different beasts than driving what I normally do. So the lines you have to take there are more different. So you are more reliant on, you know, your feet and things like that, on your feet feel and how you're approaching turn by turn. You can even see the car just getting slightly oversteering into some of the corners, but now a little bit more in line to what's happened. I think some issue in front of them, from what it looked like to be that I'm in P24, but Stacy Hunter maybe.
Yep, Stacy Hunter up there in that 71 machine, chasing down the 109 of Stephen Kirby. Oh, there was a little bit of wobble again. Now, what happens here, Lorenzo, and you've probably seen it yourself, is you get a little too much on the gas pedal out of turn 2 or 4, and you can kick the back end of these cars around, and that's what we're seeing there. Now, we've moved up here to a different battle, but you still can see that same effect. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th here on your screen.
Yeah, and these trucks, they're more prone to be, in my opinion, from what I race in them, just be oversteery and more sensitive towards paddle throttle input and things like that. So it is a little bit of a, driver's car, and how you go around these short tracks is where it makes all the difference. If you know how to approach the corner, lift off the gas, go back and go into progressive mode, it makes your day as Trevor goes into a little bit of a grind on the wall. Just don't know how much of a damage that will accrue on the side panel of the number 3.
Yeah, this is a battle for, I think, 16th or 18th and 19th. Pardon me, 18th and 19th, it says on the screen. Yep, so little small scuff. That'll buff out. No big deal. He's digging it deep into that corner, though, and trying to make it stick.
And one thing I think we haven't talked about that I think on Pocono was more prominent, but over here we are seeing the difficulty this time. But I think the 85 might be able to pull this off. Let's see Oliver Goff. He's still on the outside, is making overtakes. You know, overtaking on that inside line is basically a no-no. Outside, like you said, it's much better. So let's see if that 85 is still going to be able to make it stick, but it has some fight on the number 1. I like what I'm seeing so far.
Now, what they're doing is they're allowing the 39 and the 109 to get in this battle, because when they race side by side, neither drivers get in line they want, and therefore they're going to have that battle. Now, the signs of what happens here, let's walk you through it. The one car, this is Baron Hilton. He's going to be faster because that shorter line is faster, but if he has someone outside, he doesn't get to track out all the way, and he gives up a lot of space here. Well, the 85s will try to get there and to say hello with the horn, with the bumper. Where get the horn from? But yeah, the chrome horn. That's what got put in my ears. That's good. That's a good one. It's a nice 5. Now we're up to a 5-car battle. Look at this battle growing. This is the battle for 20th through 24th. This is Baron Hilton, Oliver Guff, Timothy Emmanuel, Stephen Kirby, and Stacy Hunter, all in this battle. Look at this. 39 now trying to dig in there. That's Timothy Emmanuel.
I wonder how much like also steering input is Goff doing on turn number 1 and 3 specifically to enter this car, or try to minimize any right side.
Well, you ask and Dustin Allis provides.
Yeah,
let's watch this for a lap here. Be into turn number 1.
Some break into it. Lift off. About 25% gas. Then you full flat throttle. Not too much steering input. That's what I like to see a little bit, but I think he's trying to force. Yeah, but I think he's still trying to force a little bit on the inside. As from what it looks, Hunter had a bit of a trouble on the inside line.
Watch it one more time here. So, as we were watching that here, walk me through when you say not a lot of steering input. Walk it through the viewers. So, what does that mean? Like, what are you looking for when you're looking at steering inputs?
The one thing I look for is when you approach these kind of corners, the one thing you really don't want to be is diving way too much. As you can see on the left side is going to be Timothy Emmanuel from Hunter's perspective, So you can see like not too much steering on the wheel. You don't want to be going left and right, so you can try to keep the car into the lane as best as you can. You don't want to go too deep. You can see nearly full lock because the car just kind of went into deep into turn number 3. You try to catch yourself back, so you try to go full lock. Even if you try to lift off the gas, you're wasting that rubber more than you probably should on that turn specifically. Don't know how that affects on the long run, but it's important to keep yourself in thought that the consistency with the throttle, with the steering inputs going to turn by turn is key here, so you can maintain a tire longevity for a race like this.
Yep, so it was important to see that. We're still seeing close battles here in the back of the field, 71 and 85. You can see on the top left of your screen that you're not missing. Oh, hold on. Speaking of missing things, almost missed the correct exit out of that corner. I was going to say you're not missing anything up front. Alan Dice is still pacing the field here with Hayden Palumbo in second, Kevin McGarvey in third. That's how it's been for a while. Watch it back here because this is a close battle.
And it is really good what I'm seeing so far between these guys. And one thing that I'm trying to, come up with, I think we're gonna have probably a pit stop over here. So the question is, how will this pit stop translate moving forward into this race? As now we shift back from the back to the front, as now from what it looks like, that number 44, yeah, a little bit as Tim Pennington trying to give some chase on Zach Penzarella.
Yep, I believe that is Dylan Schmidt in the background of that shot there. I think that is.
Yep.
There's Traver again, way up the wall, having a hard time tonight, man. Sometimes, Lorenzo, when you have a bad moment, such as you make contact like he did in that yellow, it really affects you mentally, and it can be hard to kind of let loose of that, right?
Yeah, it is because at first you might like brush it off. You know, if you just go for a small grind on the wall, things can happen. You know, it is a honest mistake. And you think, oh, that happens, but immediately at the next corner, you just go way too wide, or the car doesn't respond as you want to. So that the it infuriates you, and the frustration builds up, and you cannot have a decent race. And for races like this, like we said before, demands patience. It is a bit of a chess game, so you cannot make mistakes and get frustrated by any mistake that you do, because it can be a night ender if you get frustrated by 1, 2, 3 mistakes in a row.
That definitely can happen as well. This is Steve Loving, Cody Atkins, Brett Adams here on your screen, battling for fourth, fifth, and sixth. There's a car way outside of the wall. That's Zachary Austin, the Flamingo car. Looks like back on lap 35, just in case you're curious, Edward Peltz unfortunately did crash. I don't think I saw it on the screen, but just hearing about it now, let's take a look and see what happened to him. Back on lap 35. Oh, yeah, too much throttle.
Yes.
Yeah, too much throttle out of the corner.
Yeah, just too much on the gas. Yeah, and the maybe tooling broken on the front left axle. Just not giving you that performance that you want. Probably the car isn't broken. You have to go back to the pit lane. As I can see, like one lap down already.
Yeah, still moving along there. Probably just waiting to see if a yellow will come out. Now that's the question, Lorenzo. Is if that yellow comes out, I have to think everybody comes down pit road.
It becomes a big party, and it can make or break a race, because. Let's just say if Dice gets a yellow flag over here, it's the worst spot for him, because he has the race in his hands. You know, he can dictate however he wants to. He's not seeing Bloomberg, McGarvey, or anyone else coming in closer, and he can have his reign, you know, put up in check just because someone went RI on the back stretch or into the front stretch just way too hot.
Now, you brought up the question you had a second ago as we're watching Steve Loving and Cody Atkins go side by side. You mentioned you're curious if we stay green, if there are pit stops. Maybe some drivers want to put tires on and think they can battle better. I'm concerned about the time lost in the pit delta for that to happen.
Yeah. Because this is not the longest pit, but it is one of the slowest pits, if I remember correctly. It's a very slow approach. You kind of have to commit yourself to the apron of 3, as you guys can see the entry of turn number 3 right there into the pit lane. I'm trying to remember the speed. I think it's 30 miles per hour when you go into the pit lane.
40. And here's a pit. Here's one right now. This is Matthew Karakoff. He's going to come down, and as far as I know, this is scheduled. I didn't see any kind of damage, and I don't see any damage on the car. So that Skyline roofing machine is down pit road. He thinks he can gain more time. Let's see the car lift up here. Oh, nope, we're going to pull away from it. I'll follow up on that in just a moment. Getting tires. So there's rights and lefts. So Lorenzo, there's your test subject. Let's see what Matthew Karakoff can do. And if he does well off pit road and he starts passing people easily, Alan Dice by a lap car. If he certainly did. Sorry, I lost my thought. If Karakoff it does well off of pit road, will that entice more people to come down here with about 15 minutes left?
Maybe if you are in the back, you can try to go for something different. You know, just do some pit stops, try to get your lap back, and if the leader pits, the most likely what will happen, you're going to be aligned with the leader, right? But if you got a yellow flag, everybody's going to have to pit. I think some trouble from what it looks like on Emmanuel's car, but as long as you don't lose a lap, you can see the car is going to get wobbly on the first few laps, because it is cold. You have to let yourself about 2, 3, 4 laps in so you can get that pace back on the car. But if you do that properly, and if you time your pit strategy appropriately, you can gain basically half of the grid because they have to pit stop, you don't, and you jump on them. and the tire delta is not going to be way too much, you can level yourselves out to those who are just pitted. They have to make up ground as well because they have to build up the tire heat too.
Yep. So you see a graphic on the bottom here as we're tracking the top two positions between that says Adams and Pennington. Sorry, this says 1 and 2, but it's just reference cars. Sorry about that. I was going to say for a second though, you know, Matthew Kierkoff has himself an interesting spot here, where he has kind of driven this track in real life. Lorenzo, he went to one of the Rusty Wallace driving schools, and has turned laps here in real life. But he joked to me earlier. He said, "I still can't figure the track out." Not a rousing endorsement for the Rusty Wallace driving experience.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that would be for the Rusty Wallace, driving school, or if it is, a skill issue. But then again, I'm not the most fun on NASCAR, so most definitely way better than me taking these cars around a racetrack like this. But Richmond is one of those tracks this is a track whether you like it or not, because some people love it, some people hate it, just because how the race pans out.
Yep. Of course, Richmond Raceway is important to iRacing in many ways. Of course, formerly known Richmond International Raceway. They took the I out back in 2017, but this track holds an iRacing connection, Lorenzo. This track sponsored an esports team that in 2021 sponsored an eNASCAR team with Zach Novak and Jimmy Mullis. So Richmond Raceway is no stranger to iRacing and supporting the iRacing community.
Yeah, and I think this is a good initiative from the racetrack. Of course, it's not one of the main racetracks that is sponsored, I think, but one of the main groups on NASCAR is we see Trevor coming into the pits again for the number 03, and with a good partnership between Novak and Mullis. I think that was one of Novak's best seasons. I don't think he won in 2021.
He did not, I don't think. No, but he definitely performed well.
Yeah, he performed well, but I think he won 2020. I know he was close to that, so it was one of his best seasons. So they got something out of it as we see more and more, investment coming into NASCAR, eNASCAR appropriately, which is always good to see for esports.
It definitely is good for esports to see tracks like Richmond coming out and supporting and helping along. Of course, as you said, this track has been used by different series, NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, the Truck Series. As you said, Indy cars run here for a number of years. This is actually only the first couple of years that the trucks have been back to Richmond. They took about an 11-year hiatus, starting in 2009 through 2020, where they did not race at Richmond. So it's nice to see them back here. This is the battle for 9th on screen now. This is Dallas Sullivan, Colton Easterday, and Richard Pruitt, 9, 10, and 11. Now, I actually had a chance to talk. I had a chance to talk a little bit with Dallas Sullivan, and just said he felt like he said, "I want to stop getting beat by my teammate." That was his goal tonight. So I was hoping to find the extra speed and a little bit of extra tire wear to not let that happen. But here's Matthew Kierkoff again. We saw him pit earlier, Lorenzo.
Yeah, reaching from what it looks like, he's not far behind from Oliver Goff. So unless I'm getting played over here, but he's not far from Goff, about 1.3 back, and I fully expect the 00 coming in closer and make that overtake on that Ford F-150 car.
Yep. Now, what Kierkoff is hoping for in this position is that him and or Oliver Goff can get by the leader before or if a yellow flag were to come out in this race, because they would want to be on the lead lap here in contention. They do not want to get stuck a lap down and have this race go yellow. We have about 10 minutes left here. We've gone green for a while now, and that's like that 11 machine. You see some cars definitely get squirrely out of these corners, Lorenzo.
Yeah, most definitely. Panzarella, Hillman nearly making contact as the 247 blocks the path of the number 11. Goes into the corner again, deep for Hillman on the outside, and but it's going to be no dice for the number 11 as Panzarella now secures P12 for the time being.
And you can see Alex Hillman here And typically the way you can see how if a driver drives it in too deep, typically is how much that truck wobbles when they get on the brakes. He did there pretty well in 3 and 4. Let's check here. Had to lift a little bit in 1 and 2. Look at that big field behind him here, trying to run him down. If this field right here stays single file, they will run down Tillman and Panzarella more than likely.
Yeah, I'm thinking looking at laps though. Pennington last lap was 23.809. Hillman was a 1,000 of a second faster. Panzarella I think was slightly faster by I think a tenth of a second. And repeats again. Like Panzarella 23.6, 23.7 for Hillman. Pennington and Mazzy got on a 23.927. So far they're breaking away, but it's not a major breakaway for those two in P12 and 13.
No, you see Ryan Traver in the back of your screen here coming off pit road. I suspect we'll see him easily by here in a couple laps with those new tires, but right now we're just riding around this unique D-shaped racetrack. So every part of the track has different banking. Your front straight has an 8-degree banking. Your corners have a 14-degree banking, and your back straight is 2 degrees. So every part of this track is a little bit different.
Yeah, and that's why I like these American tracks a little bit. The different grooves and how you approach these corners. Not the biggest banking in terms of and NASCAR. A little bit of a wobble for the car in front from what it looks like to be.
Brett Adams here. He's part of that battle for P6. You see you see Austin Hunter in the very front of your screen here. You get these 4 cars. This is now P7, 8, 9 we're looking at right here.
Yep. And really quickly, can we bring up Adam Showen coming up from the back to the front? Into the top 10.
I'm sure we can. Let's go take a look at Adam Showen there. You see him on screen. Getting around that car of Zachary Austin.
Yep.
Adams had a bit of an up and down season so far that I can recall in the Truck Series, so we'll see what happens. Of course, Alan Dice came into tonight, I'm pretty sure with the points lead, and will likely, as of this moment, if we were ended right now with about 7 minutes to go, would end with the points lead here at Richmond.
Yeah, he would be starting to break away on Atkins and Sullivan and McGarvey, so he would be standing like alone at the top without having to look back on the leadership of the championship. Already six rounds in, and basically half the championship, or more than half of the championship already done. And leave the trouble for those 3 I formerly mentioned to duke it out for the top 3 spots here at the Truck Series. Shonen way too deep into 1. Held it though.
Yep, nice job. So you see up top, about 6 minutes left in this race. We will end on time. So whenever the leader comes around to the point where they cannot turn another lap, our substitute flagman will put the white flag out. You see Barney had the night off. I'm sure we'll see him again before the night is over. So you'll see Barney got a replacement. Just like me, Terry Radford left me alone tonight, so I called on Lorenzo.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. I'm sorry, Terry's not here. Terry's great at short track racing. If you want to see an incredible clip, by the way, I'm going to promote Terry Radford. No one does that, but I'll do it for
What's the clip that he was doing with Andrew and Andrew's baby?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I was going to talk about. There's a clip of him actually broadcasting I think the last 2 laps of a race, holding a baby in his arms. So, and that baby looked happy to be held by Terry Radford, by the way. Not many people are happy to be around Terry Radford.
Yeah,
that baby was.
No. You basically said like how many people can say that they held and were happy around Terry? It's like I'm in shock right now. If it was a wrestling show or something like that, then maybe it was more around of Terry's house. But racetracks and people around Terry being happy, no way.
So listen, you know what I learned last week. By the way, this is a quick Terry Radford trivia, and then we'll move on. 2 things here. By the way, this is a great onboard shot here.
Nice.
That beautiful green screen in the background here. I learned last week that hold on, way up the track. I learned last week 2 things. 1, Terry Radford has never seen Star Wars.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 No!
And,
No! No!
and two, Terry Radford thinks Cars 2 is the best Cars movie.
Okay, so let me just start on the number one. Number one, I can understand, but I don't fully respect that. Oh, Golf actually pinched into the wall, lost the one position. Wonder how much damage that car has because Brendan like pinched him up into turn number one. But the number two is a downright travesty.
Yeah, I agree. Cars 2 is not.
No. And that comes from the reels of having to listen to Ewan O'Leary, knowing that he hasn't watched any of the racing movies.
That's
That baffled me to the top.
Now we've gotten into shaming our RaceSpot coworkers, but look at this great battle going on here. This is P16, 17, 18, and 19. That's a 39 machine here. That's Timothy Emmanuel, pardon me, in P18. He's trying to hold off a challenge here. Now, likely as long as he can hold a line, being an outside group, he probably will hold it off because that inside car is not able to hold that. Sorry, that's not a challenge. I apologize. That's P2 he's holding up there. I apologize.
Yeah.
That's Hayden Palumbo. I was not watching my car counts here.
No, but if there's one thing that I was noticing is like the gap between McGarvey and Palumbo was actually plummeting a few laps. Like it was about more than a sec, then it was like less than a sec. About 7/10 now separates both of them going around turn number 1 and 2. You can even see McGarvey's car. You know that red and yellow and blue, kind of like DuPont as livery lurking behind him. So now the ball falls on McGarvey. Can he clear himself as fast as he can into the trio of cars in front of him and get closer to Palumbo with 2 minutes to go? I don't think so.
It should be noted, by the way, we are at that old point of no return. If the yellow flag comes out now, Lorenzo, it would just end the race. There would not be able to get green again. That I can tell. There's no way I can see mathematically possible to make it happen. So whatever flag happens next, we are done.
Que sera, sera.
Truck Series.
The famous que sera, sera.
There you go. Well, we are seeing some great battles all across the track. Whatever you lap. Oh, hold on. Zachary Austin almost put that 3 wide there.
You don't want to do 3 wide at Richmond. It's not healthy.
No, it's not healthy. It's bad for your car engine.
Oh, again?
Hello. There it is.
Here
That's
we
gonna be
go.
the caution right there. Not yet. See if
No?
they can turn it out. Hold on. It's got to come out, guys.
The replacement referees, man. I'm getting NFL vibes.
Wow. Apparently, the race admins have decided that
Wow.
with those cars all getting safely moving and being out of the way, we're going to stay green. I thought for sure that was going to end the race. I'd love to see a replay of that again. Looks like Zach Austin maybe just come up the track. He had been apologizing, saying he was having a hard time holding on to the truck here. There's about a minute left here. I don't know if we'll get to that replay before this race is over. Here it is again.
Loving must have been loving this for a reason. Yeah, I tried to do the pun. That was
something.
That was bad. That was really bad.
This is a different moment than what we're looking for, I believe. We'll wait and see what happens here. That 45. We'll come back to that when we find it, but that was a crazy moment. Well,
next
30.
Time by?
Definitely next time by for our leader. It depends on where Alan Dice is. If we can find him on our screen, he's got a 2-second lead, almost 3 seconds here. He should take the white flag. We'll call it the Barney Cam, although Barney has the night off. There you see, there's the white flag. Barney did not leave us any info in the broadcast about his replacement, so I don't want to guess or assume anything.
I was gonna call him Jacob.
You know. But right now, Alan Dice is just cruising around for the last time tonight on 3 and 4. Just drive it safe. No need to be aggressive here. You got a good 3-second lead. And Alan Dice will win here at Richmond Raceway. We're going to see the battles come on through. Hayden Palumbo's going to come in second. There'll be a couple of battles in the back. There's one right there. That's Steve Loving leading a pack of cars on through. And see, there's Adam Schoen. Well, Lorenzo, as we wait for the people to come around, I will have to say that looks like that pit strategy did not work out the way some wanted it to.
Yeah, fortunate for the 0-0 off Karikov right there, but it was a gamble. You know, you had to gamble with something. It worked. It didn't work out for him at the end, but this one makes and breaks your races, and this is what NASCAR is. You thought you were going to count with the yellow flag, but not so far, not so fast, my friend. And Alan Dice, you know, just dominance in the race again, and proving why he's the leader in the championship with that number 5 car.
There you go. Your points leader will win once again here at Richmond, and he will burn it down here in the grass. Let's go ahead and take a look at our final results. Alan Dice wins by over 3 seconds over Hayden Palumbo. Kevin McGarvey comes in third. Cody Atkins in fourth. Steve Loving in P5. Then you got Adam Schoen, Austin Hunter, Dallas Sullivan, Britt Adams, and Colton Easterday rounding out your top 10. Next is Richard Pruitt in 11th with Zach Panzarella in 12th. Baron Hilton 13th with Alex Hillman, and then CM Pennington in your top 15. And then Thomas E. Massey, Robert Goff, Matthew Karikoff, your pitter there, P18, Stacey Hunter, and Timothy Emmanuel round out your top 20. Then Oliver Goff will be your last one lap down, and you got Stephen Kirby, Ryan Traver, Edward Peltz, Thomas Brindle, Zachary Austin, and then Ronald Overbay will round out your 87. And Kevin McGarvey, your fastest lap back on lap number 7. All right, well, we're going to see real quick before we do our interviews. Let's see if we can find that replay. We're still going to look through it in the replay machine. It was such a weird moment and a tense time. So I'm not sure if we're going to get to it, but let's wait and find out.
Meanwhile, we can try to figure out the replacement by name.
We could. However, what we'll do instead here, because we're going to have a tight window between the two races tonight. While our dust...
True.
Oh, hold on.
There we go.
The replay first. This would be that 3-wide scenario. This would be Zachary Austin on the bottom. This comes up in that corner and just crushes everyone into the wall there. I don't understand what... Wow.
How?
Yeah, apparently Barney's replacement is still in training, right? We'll tell you about who's not in training. The man not in training is Alan Dice. He wins again here tonight at Richmond. Alan, welcome back to the broadcast booth.
How's it going?
I've been going well. I think it's going great for you, right?
Yeah, good little streak. Couple of tracks that I just have some time at and some experience. So I have a feeling it's going to come to a quick and abrupt end here soon. I don't even know where we go next week, but I knew these 3 I had circled, so we'll see.
Yeah, right. You get a little bit of time before you get to that pesky road course again. So you got some more time. But of course, you said this was sort of a home track. You know, you live out of Winchester, Virginia. So I have to ask, have you been to this track before?
Oh yeah, many times. We actually got to see Kyle Larson win earlier this season. I was actually in the pits and we got to go to victory lane. It's pretty cool. So I'm a big fan of going there. That's
pretty awesome. So what do you think led to your victory tonight?
Honestly, like just getting the jump on the starts. There's a couple of restarts we had early. Being able to get that gap and then just keeping the tires under you, just being real smooth with it, hitting your marks and just paying attention to what you're doing, not to burn them up, because you can do that here for sure.
Yep, you definitely can. We got an interesting schedule coming up around here. You got Michigan, you got the Lucas Oil IRP, you got the Glen, and others still to go. Which one are you not looking forward to?
Probably the Glen. As far as road courses go, I'm okay there. Obviously, I've raced there enough, but I'm not as good as many others in here at road courses. So probably that one. Michigan will be okay. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know IRP that well, so yeah. I had my little streak. Tried to keep it going. I got the momentum going, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes.
Awesome. Well, good job tonight. Go burn it down and enjoy your evening.
Thanks, guys.
That's Alan Dice. He, of course, is the driver of the number 5 machine. Now, next, let's pull in Hayden Palumbo, and I believe Lorenzo's going to catch up with Hayden Palumbo.
Yeah, so Hayden, congratulations on that P2, man, and that give I'm probably going to say that give you some motivation. P13 in the standings, not the best championship going far, especially in the first half of the season, now kicking up the second half with the top 3 finish.
Yeah, not too good of the first, I guess, 2-3 weeks absolutely killed me. I had a bad wreck in the first race and some penalties in the second and just kind of got held back. That's what's holding me back in this season, I guess. So we'll see though.
And-
A lot of good racing left.
Most definitely, man. And talk us about this race. We approached something of a shorter racetrack, not a mile below the mile in Richmond, a little bit more of a hard racing where you're probably gonna have some rubbing in there. How do you approach a track that races more differently than Pocono and some of the other tracks in the season?
Just try to go fast and turn left and stay away from everybody is kind of my go-to.
That's a good motto to live by. I'm not gonna lie. And before we let you take a rest for next week, approaching next week, I think it's gonna be RRP. Is there any track of the calendar moving forward, especially the roadie in Glen, that makes you feel comfortable to push up and go for a good result?
I mean, I honestly would like to see what I can do at the Glen. I've been pretty fast there before, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take a look on that. Hayden, again, congratulations. Take a rest, and we'll see you next week, man.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, well, that's Hayden Balumbo. He finished P2. Now let's catch up with Kevin McGarvey. Kevin, P3 tonight. Nice run. Talk us through how you felt about that race.
I think I did halfway decent. Just trying to sort of held my position. Didn't really pass anyone. Didn't really get past. Survived a little bit of early race competition and kind of just rode around, it felt like, for a while there. And yeah, but I'm happy with P3. I mean, seems like I'm getting a little bit better every week, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you should be pretty happy. It was a start off kind of a concerning way, but 2 quick yellows. Did that sort of put your mindset into a place of, okay, this might happen all race, or were you confident it was going to clean itself up?
It seems like this year we've been getting those couple early yellows, and we get like that long green flag run, and then it seems like when that happens, we sometimes get that late race caution. We came very close to it tonight, but I just kind of said, okay, well, let's see what I can do on the long run here and try my best, and just kind of hung out there. Had a good time.
Now I have to ask you real quick before we let you go. Did you see the last wreck? Were you as surprised as we were in the booth that was in the yellow? Did you see the wreck, or have you not seen it yet?
Oh, I saw the wreck. I saw the 39 truck almost hit me coming back down the track there. So yeah, I was kind of surprised it wasn't a caution too, considering how tight it is. Right, that probably into 1 and off of 2 is the tightest spots of the track, and I'm kind of surprised too. But it is what it is. I didn't get involved in it, so I guess I'm fortunate. But yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, what it is tonight for you, sir, is a P3. Before we let you go, anyone you want to say hello to or give thanks to this evening?
Well, I want to thank my Waterback teammate, Austin. He was really helpful getting me ready for this race. And then also want to just say thank you to my sponsor, Nevermore Crafting Company. If there's anybody watching on the Jersey Shore, if you go to Keyport, New Jersey, the Metal Shop, Nevermore products are now available at the Metal Shop in Keyport, New Jersey.
Yeah, for all you Keyport, New Jersey residents, that is an offer for you. Well, Kevin, it's time for you to sit back and enjoy as we transition in the second part of our broadcast. Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Well, that's Kevin McGarvey. So that's going to wrap up our truck portion of this evening, Lorenzo. Now we just are going to go for that. I will say next week for the trucks is Michigan International Speedway. That starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm not sure if there will be a Terry Radford in the booth with me, but that's where we'll be regardless. Well, we're going to go from one of the shortest NASCAR sanctioned tracks in the Truck Series at Richmond to one of the longest NASCAR sanctioned tracks. Look at that beautiful transition. Road America. This is a beautiful track up in Wisconsin, over 4 miles in length. And this is where the Xfinity cars are tonight. Walk us through, Lorenzo, what do you expect out of this race here?
It's gonna be quite interesting, who does the transition to the road. Handling these cars, they are more difficult in my opinion than the trucks to handle around the racetrack, and they're just as difficult as the NASCAR Cup to race around a track like Road America, where you got lots of heavy braking spots, especially going to turn number 5, going to Canada corner, where you need smooth transition into it, and those who know how to manage the braking into this and know how to work the longevity of the tires, keep that fresh rubber good for overtakes, I think they will do just fine. Yep.
Now the PRL. Let's take a look at our Xfinity schedule first. So we're at Road America this week. We're in week number 6. Next we'll go to Michigan. then the Indianapolis Road Course, and the Watkins Glen Cup layout. And of course, we will finish week number 10 at the granddaddy of them all, Daytona International Speedway. So that's how this season will wrap out. Let's go. We'll just go ahead and move on here and talk about the race, and I'll cover the points in a little bit here. We'll pull them right off the spreadsheet. So, you mentioned turns 5 and 6 a second ago, Lorenzo. What I find interesting about the Xfinity cars is I think turns 5 and 6 in a way are kind of backwards from your typical GT cars when IMSA runs here.
Yep.
If I get it right, and I know I'm going to get it wrong, and you can correct me, in the Xfinity car, it's turn 5 you kind of want to baby, and then turn 6 you can kind of get a little more aggressive in. In the IMSA, the GT3, it's the complete opposite, right?
It is a little bit, because many people will try to use the ABS going to turn number 5 and go for a dive bomb or something like it and stay side by side. Where 6, you just kind of maintain, and you have a baby approach, because you need the grip to the outside portion and be as fast as you can. Maximum usage of the track, as you see full braking for Acosta on turn number 1, and the car just gets really loose. I'm not even surprised that actually happened for Acosta right there.
Now,
As he goes top of the board, from what it looks like.
Yeah, we'll take a look. We're going to overlay loaded up in just a moment here. We're still making our transition from one race to the other. So we'll get things updated in a moment, but of course, you'll see the DRS signs in the ground, because in iRacing form, we still need to indicate where DRS could be if we had the appropriate cars. Of course, these do not have it, so no need to worry about that. But I think the biggest and the hardest thing for a lot of oval drivers to really do at a road course, Lorenzo, is not touch the gas pedal. Obviously, you need to touch it. I'm kind of being sarcastic, but if you really get into a gas pedal too hard here, you can loop a car around pretty quickly.
No, this is that traditional thing of be progressive on the accelerator, more so than the oval tracks. We talked about Richmond and oval tracks is one thing. Short tracks, you have to be progressive so you don't kick the rear a little bit. It's the same thing over here as well, but it's you might take advantage of the first few laps. Go full throttle or be more aggressive into the throttle itself for maximum acceleration. But in here, no, you have to treat like the tires like a toddler or something like that. It has to be your best friend. You have to sleep, eat, repeat, rinse and repeat every single time you do a lap. Right here, as we look into Bradley Holly, as if he approaches kind of the corner. Very, very tricky corner for you to make this one. The trick is that outside portion, but he got the runoff, which kind of eases up a little bit for you.
Bradley, of course, our winner last week at Poconos. He's riding that momentum of being a race winner. And him and Terry Radford got to celebrate that moment last week together. We'll see if he can make one here again with that Miracle Flow machine. Going to come up this hill, a very scary blind crest. We'll see what happens. His last time by.
It was an off lap.
Definitely an off lap. Yeah, I was watching numbers before I said anything, and I apologize, but
yeah, I think it was low out of 3. I think something happened on turn number 3 that kind of like invalidated his lap, as we now going to make Nick McLaughlin, and is very suggestive. Hot Mix Dun's car. Well done. I approve. I think that was an off track.
Yeah, the Font team, of course, that's the team of has our own Joey Tebben racing down there. And of course, we might get a comment from Joey later, but they all have those different fonts in their car, Lorenzo. So it's interesting to see as the night goes on.
Yeah, I think we can. Take it back. Oh, I'm sorry. You can go back. Oh my God, what am I seeing over here? Well, at least it's not like a Helvetica or something like that.
By the way, I have you know, I know you're new to the Wednesday night broadcast. You just have to know, you just hit on producer Dustin Ollis' favorite topic. You know what? In this road course, we should talk about liveries.
Oh yeah, I like this show back.
I'm pretty sure if we talk about liveries all night long, Dustin Ollis will mute us, and it will be a. Yeah, but we're being threatened to have no liveries.
I'll give you that much. But given the fact that the Barbie movie came out, I'm actually appreciative that Mattel is not going to give us a call, or even most especially Dustin Ollis a call, because showcasing a card that might suggest it is a Hot Wheels livery.
Yeah, it's a parody. So this, of course, is Dustin Ollis' way of getting to us, is to get us to not talk about liveries. We'll flip back over here and show the actual appropriate livery for the 184 in just a moment. 109 there. So I know, of course, us here at RaceSpot, we had the pleasure, Lorenzo, of covering different hours of the 24 hours of Spa about 10 days ago. Man, it doesn't feel 10 days ago. My body is still.
I know, it's insane.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the topic we all discussed different hours of the race. They both came out that weekend. Would you rather go see Barbie or Oppenheimer?
I saw both of them, Barbieheimer all day. I'll have to see them again
Which
with
did
my
you see
girlfriend.
first?
Barbie.
Wow.
I saw Barbie when it came out. I was like, I was this, I approached my friends. I approached my friends here in Portugal. So I was like, okay, guys, here's the thing. You all know me. This is Barbie. We're watching Barbie. This is it. Don't argue with me. This is the day.
Well, speaking of the
Take it
day,
or leave it.
let's see who had the best day so far on the poll. We'll pull up our qualifying results here. Abner Acosta, not a surprise, one of our road course veterans, is up on the poll at 214.058. Richard Regan Jr., points leaders in P2. Ted Lowendick in P3 with Elliot White on the outside in P4. And then Bradley Holly and Thomas Sink round out your top 6. Danny Cervantes is back this week. He'll be in P7 with Jeff T. Evans in P8. And then we'll pick up P9 with Brett Karakoff and Daniel Knight. And then Joey Tebbett and Adam Zinke round out your top 12. Moving on here to P13 will be Colton Lane here in just a moment. I'll go through the rest of the field for you here off of my own scoring screen. Colton Lane in 13. Nick McLaughlin P14. Mike Knight P15. Patrick Calgill back in P16. Unsure if he'd race tonight, but he's been feeling well enough to race. Charles Sumner, and then Mark Kalin in 18th. Doug Evans 19th, and then Mike Witt, Jim Musterfield, and Nicholas Hunter round out your 22-car field here tonight for the Xfinity Series race at Road America. Well, this is a 50-minute race. There is no lap count for this, so we're going to guarantee to go the time limit here tonight. Now, of course, Lorenzo, PRL says the only time they would ever throw a caution on a road course would be if the track is 100% blocked and it's just unsafe. We've not had that happen. We even made it through the Chicago street course without it happening. So, that out the window, I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you're a driver in this car tonight, when would you pit? Do you want to split it halfway? Do you want to go as long as possible? Do you want to short it? What do you want to do?
All right, first and foremost, you know my track record with Road America here at RaceSpot?
I do not, actually.
Oh, you don't? Neither of you don't. So let me just give you ISOWC 2021. I think there was only one of the 2 races I commentated on with Arjuna and Lewis McGlade. I basically cursed 3 drivers into that race. I called 1 yellow flag. The next race, I think it was on the Evra series, I called another yellow flag. I called 2 yellow flags. So I called 3 in general, but I called out like I predicted it was going to come into immediately right after it's 2. That's why I call myself the Yellow Flag Emperor of RaceSpot. And I'm back at Road America. Do you honestly think that I'm not going to bring up yellow flags here?
If you do, to my knowledge, and I would have to check the league admin Charles Sumner post-race, it would be the first yellow flag on a road course in PRL history. So you'd have that under your belt to have. Do you want to point out, by the way, as the pace lap is happening, it looks like Doug Evans will not start on the grid. He will start from pit road. That'll be a long time deficit. But now, of course, a lot of drivers will smartly get single file here on this pace lap, Lorenzo, and it's just to avoid any kind of like contact or off tracks, right?
Yeah, basically that, and but the track is kind of wide, believe it or not, for these cars, kind of like to handle for the pace lap. So it's much more simple approach than some other tracks in the season. But I like what we're going out with this. You know, it is going to be a difficult track, especially for those at the back. You can make up a lot of ground if you are very, very delicate coming into the start of the race. Looking forward to see those in the middle. You know, if you're still within the toe, the draft over here is going to be huge if you can keep close to it. If we're going to see any potential overcuts here are very, very, very strong. I do not see that happening though. But if that ever happens, if someone actually is in the spot of doing an overcut, it's going to be real interesting how he manages the in lap and then the out lap in comparison to person that he's competing against and might come up against on top.
So every track has that kind of nervous point the first lap. I know at Coda, of course, it's the first lap. I think for a lot of people at the Glen, it's the S's. For Daytona, it's turn 1, if not one of those 2 horseshoes. But first lap, what to you is the biggest pressure point here that like you kind of hold your breath as all the cars go through it? What's that turn for you?
Turn 1 and turn 5, easily. Turn 1, if it is a very close start between everybody. Turn 3, usually if it is still close between some of the cars, mostly is going to be like on multi-class, but NASCAR kind of like evens out a little bit, spaces out more. Turn 5 is, you know, hero corner, so that's pretty much it. And Canada corner, of course, the 2 deepest braking zones on the track.
Some funny notes from tonight. I had a chance to sit down and talk with a couple of the drivers about an hour before our first airtime for the Truck Series. About 7:30 Eastern. And I was with Richard Regan. How are you feeling about this? You know what Richard Regan told me? I haven't turned a lap yet.
Readiness, and he's P2. I like it.
Well, he's P2 for now, of course. Abner Acosta had a great amount of success at the Chicago Street Course in his vehicle. I believe he won that race by, almost 30 seconds, if my memory is correct. I'd have to go back and dig through the results, but Abner had a great success. And then his teammate Elliott White back there in that pinkish PR Precision Racing Sports machine. Still new here. Let's take a look at traffic here and weather. So you see traffic on the screen. You got a 118-degree Fahrenheit track temp, partly cloudy, 2:55 p.m. on the 29th of July. Yep. So they got that. There's your traffic and weather together. And back to you, Lorenzo. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. This is going to get dicey as pace car is going to go in. I got to talk about the race car, though. Now, Abner Acosta is going to lead everybody out as they go up the hill, and a green flag is going to be called any single time. Here we go.
And green flag's out at Road America. Let's go racing in Wisconsin. Side by side up this crest and start to go down the hill here. They're going to chase it down into the first corner. Abner Acosta gets the benefit of being to the inside of that first corner. And everything looks okay through turn 12.
We have to say it. Karakov.
That's Karakov. I apologize for saying that. I thought he was going to be okay. And he's going to be head first into that wall now out to the next corner. I'm assuming, Lorenzo, that's a much cleaner turn 1 than you were expecting.
It is. I'm downright impressed. I'm surprised that Joey didn't kill anyone, though.
Yeah, Joey's a good racer. Joey's have proved himself to do really well throughout the season. Now we're up in the corners you were concerned about, right?
Yeah, here we go. Some door banging, I think, between McLaughlin and Zemke, I think, on turn number 5, but I think they got away unscathed. No, I had to mention.
That was up to 57. That was Adam Zemke.
Oh no. And that involved Tabin and him as well. Let's see how Zemke is gonna push the corner.
Well, let's not pass for a second. That Applebee's machine was sideways through the grass. Let's not let that pass. He's somehow still on track and moving in the correct position. I thought for sure he was gonna have a short end of that night for Adam Zemke there.
No, I agree. I want to look on the replay. What happened for Zemke to go outside? And a car banging outside of just outside of the carousel, the number 35. Westerfield done and dusted, and one more just outside the number 11 as well.
Yeah, that's Brett Karakov, so that's all him already.
That definitely eased off the race.
Now, of course, Ted Lowendick here in P3. Ted, of course, known when I first met Ted Lowendick a while ago, he was a star in different road series for PRL, but he's now transitioned into the Xfinity racing. And that is a different car. Who is that? I can't see the number on it.
That is Karakov.
Oh, that is the 11 car.
Karakov.
Okay. That's Brett Karakov. I apologize. Okay, that's turn 1. We're just seeing a different angle of it. But yeah, when I met Ted Lowendick, he was doing other racing, and he's now gotten into the Xfinity cars and doing fairly well at it. Him and Joey Tebben both are having great seasons. Joey, of course, kind of quasi took over for Terry Radford, and I think Joey's having a much better season. Don't tell Terry, I'll get your full next week, but Joey's doing better.
You could say I can say it. I'm not afraid to say it. Joey's a better
Radford
driver
watches
than
his
you.
podcast. I'll get a DM tomorrow morning.
Oh, don't worry about that. Terry, don't hate me, but you said Cars 2 is a better movie than any other car movie. I'm just gonna say Joey's a better driver than you.
There you go.
Until you prove me otherwise.
We're about 3.5 minutes into this race, and right now, not much has changed about your running order. Abner Acosta and Richard Regan are still 1 and 2. Hold on. This is Mike Witt. Lap 1. What is that? Is quite the line there. Mike, of course, kind of the center of controversy last week in the Cup Series, and now taking the scenic route of Road America, if you want to call it that.
If you want to call it like a MotoGP penalty line.
That's a good way to look at it. A beautiful battle going on right here on your screen. Look at this, side by side with cars in front and behind. And they managed to work that out in Navi. That's the 184 machine. That is Bradley Holly there. That's Holly Cervantes, Daniel Knight, and Mick McLaughlin there all lined up, if I got those names right.
Oh.
Now, so we're going to take a look at Jim Westerfield here. See what happens to him.
Classic case of car loose out of the corner.
And honestly, probably, hold on. Okay, sorry. I got nervous there. It may have been loose, or honestly, it may have been that thing you and I talked about in the beginning. You did a whole kind of monologue about throttle control, right? And I think the one thing you missed that kind of came to mind was I always heard that whole, like, put the egg under the throttle thing. And if you crack the egg, you're pushing too hard. He probably cracked the egg. Now this is Doug Evans. He started from the pit, so he's well behind. We're going to get a shot over the freeze here. And we're going to miss what started it, but
by the way,
so
we can call this a blame Dustin moment. Here we go.
Oh, he's gonna hit both walls. He's gonna get. Oh, that's got to be on the bingo card somewhere. All right, well, back to live action here at Road America. It's gonna be the 25 of Denny Cervantes that you're watching on screen now. Here's that battle you still got there. That's Bradley Holly on back here. You can see the names on the left of your screen. By the way, just a moment ago, we said Abner Acosta turned his fastest lap of the race and the fastest lap of the race. So Abner flexing those road racing muscles.
Like, if we're looking at the timing screen, it's kind of like... Alright, I'm just going to bring stuff like from the NASCAR whenever they went to Chicago, like kind of like superlatives. Abner Acosta is basically Shane Van Gisbergen. Richard Regan might be a little bit of a Chase Elliott. Everybody else is the rest of the field.
Ooh, there's some deep words from Lorenzo. That's not Derek Watts.
Hey, I'm just looking. What's over here? Maybe Ted might be kind of like. Who knows how to do roads well? That
is at Lorenzo Bonder on Twitter. If you have comments, those are not at Derek Races. At Lorenzo Bonder on Twitter.
And my comments are all my own, by the way.
That's exactly true. I believe that.
Nice save from Cervantes down behind.
Yep.
There you go, boys.
Yeah, there's our Twitter names as well. You can see both. Follow us both on Twitter. I need to post more, but yeah, please do follow us.
Same. But are you going to post more with a new layout?
Yeah, I need to look at that. So let's talk about the points real quick. So we're watching Danny Cervantes. We said we'd talk about him. Got a nice 4-car battle here for 7th. So coming in tonight, Richard Regan Jr. was first. He has a 21-point lead over Abner Acosta. Bradley Holly's in 3rd with Ted Lowendick. Behind those guys are though close together. And you got Elliott White, Joey Tebbin is 6th, Thomas Sink in 7, Adam Zimke 8, Reese Bogues in 9th, and then Nicholas Hunter rounds out your top 10 in points. So if you look at your names and you hear those and compare the side of the screen, so right now we got Abner Acosta beating Richard Regan for a little bit of a points difference. Elliott White is from P5 in points. He's 3rd on your screen. And then Lowendick is 4th.
And Stink beating Tebbin, and I think that's also Elliott. Not Elliott White. I think Elliott White is in 3rd, so Elliott is beating them both. Hunter into the gravel, into the grass, into turn number 3. Kept the car on the road out.
Just playing a little farm sim, picked up a lawn mowing contract, no big deal.
Oh, Mate, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have a teammate in my racing team that is basically a farming simulator slot.
I
You
gotta meet that
actually
guy.
know they actually have esports for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was watching that. I was rounding my head and looked at the screen. I was like, "What am I?"
Oh
Seeing?
yeah. In fact, they just announced some new esports modes. There's 3 or 4 different games
What?
now you can do. Oh yeah. You got to keep up on it, Lorenzo.
Mate, like, yeah, I gotta keep
First off,
up
if
with
you've never
this.
first off, if you've never wasted a day playing Farming Simulator, you've never lived life to the fullest. Let me tell you that right now.
I never played one, even though I got
Oh,
on
God.
Xbox Game Pass.
All right, there you go. Well, speaking of playing along, we're watching plenty of drivers playing follow the leader here, and I think that's Joey Tebben there in the 66, if I do recall correctly. Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
That's the 06. Pardon me. That's a conversation from the 24 Hours of Spa. Why do cars have zeros in front of them? If Arjuna is listening right now, his head is
Oh,
exploding.
he's blowing up right now, but he's busy in Riyadh right now, so he does have to be worried about that. But it's like, I don't understand that either. I truly don't. I think it is an
Oh,
Joey. Joey, there's something called the blacktop. You know, blacktop. You know, you keep that car in there, not in the grass. This is not rallycross.
Interesting enough, Joey has a road racing background, and all kidding aside, I have to go through, but P11 is one of Joey's worst runs of the season so far. He's done great on the ovals. Now he has a couple more road courses left to go. There's that dreaded Indianapolis road course, but here's going to be Colton Lane. It's going to light it up, get a little too hard in the brakes, off in the dirt. Keep it moving. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't keep moving. Keep moving.
Mind the rejoin?
Yeah, mind the rejoin. That's true.
Yeah, mind the rejoin. Otherwise, Connery Maddock is gonna join the chat. Very unhappy about it. I cannot talk badly about Joey. He beat me at the commentators race.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one of those. I have a place to represent now. We're going to run on board here and watch a lap here. This is going to be Nick McLaughlin with that interesting profile photo. Gonna try to cut in that corner there and just have to stick behind the car in front of him. That's Jeff Evans ahead of him. Jeff, actually one of our racers who comes back and watch the broadcast afterwards. So thank you to Jeff for doing that. Jeff always leaves me some nice notes and comments afterwards.
I'm not gonna get those nice notes and comments after my.
Last week, Jeff Evans called Terry Radford a troublemaker.
Oh, but he is. He's a rascal. So what can you do? He's not wrong for speaking the truth.
That's very true. We're gonna follow along here. We're about 10 minutes into this race, and so far we've seen a couple single car spins, but so far, Lorenzo, pretty calm. Whoa, hello.
Nick, hello there. Don't touch the grass. Grass is lava.
Yeah, grass is lava. So far, pretty calm race. We've seen some passes. We've seen some single car spins. No big calamity. No real big contact I've even found on the track so far.
Yeah, nothing that is like overly dramatic. I think apart from maybe what Tebben and Zemke had, I think on lap 1 or 2. So after that, pretty mild race. Just normal, mistakes whenever the NASCAR rubber gets heated up a little bit more and it gets difficult for you to navigate. As you can see, easy now, Nick. There you go.
Now, one thing that will happen in this race, we talked about last race, could they all stay on track and, not pit? They will all pit this race and put tires on at some point. That will happen. The tires here wear very quickly.
I expect I fully expect 2 pit stops, 2 or 3 pit stops.
That 2 might be doable. I don't know.
2 is doable. 2 is doable. Yeah.
We'll wait and see. I know I watched some people run the open version of this race, the official version this week, and they tore through some tires. So
yeah,
this is a battle between Abner Acosta. This is a battle for the lead with Richard Regan Jr. That's Elliott White in that pink car there. This is the gap we got here. It's a 5-second gap already. Abner just really doing so well. The great way to see that gap will be when we come around back to the front straight, Lorenzo, and watch them come up the crest here.
About a 10-second rest separates Regan to White. The Lowendick actually closed the gap on turn number 5 and 6. So as they go through hurry downs, it's Lowendick is kind of I like what the game that he's playing. It's got like 4D chess with hot weather and Xfinity cars. He's just like cooking, buying his time until he actually makes a proper move on LAY, maybe on the pit stop. He's trying to. I'll avoid the bold pun, because I already had enough bad puns today.
You know, Lorenzo, I don't know if you're the person who told me this last week during F3 or someone else told me this, and the quote that sticks in my mind is, any chess is 4D chess. If you just throw
it's me.
Yeah, okay, it was you last week,
me.
okay. Yeah, we called F3 action together last week here on RaceSpot on Thursday night, and that quote stuck out in my head. I was like, that's a pretty good quote.
Oh, it's always a good code. I try to give good codes to everybody, even though 9 out of 10 times I fail on those codes.
Very well. Tomorrow night you can watch more PRL action here on RaceSpotTV at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, 6:30 Pacific. That's my time zone. I think Justin Prince and I will be back calling F3 action at Motorsport Aragon. So you can see that here. But right now we're seeing a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's Thomas Sink, Danny Cervantes, Daniel Knight. Danny Cervantes, of course, had an interesting week a couple weeks ago. Got caught up in a couple wrecks and had some criticism thrown his way. But so, hold on.
Oh, hold up.
Oh, that's a save.
Drama?
That's Danny Cervantes. That's Cervantes right
Thank
there on the
you.
inside. Don't hit that wall. Wow, nice job saving that. Cervantes.
But I'm not
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this one come, but I didn't expect Cervantes to go on his own. I thought that the car behind him,
He's gonna get some
thinking,
help.
Daniel Knight is gonna like give some help. Yeah.
Yep. Good save overall from Cervantes. Got it spun around there, hit nothing. So frustrated and probably some warmed up tires, but overall okay. Now this is Richard Regan, Elliott White, and Ted Lowendick you're seeing on your screen here. They're just sort of racing each other while trying to hopefully find a way to, I guess, wish mad luck onto Abner Acosta.
Yeah. That is gonna be hard though, because Abner is like doing. Of course, the laps are gonna increase as we see Abner just going through the kink. When he's 2:17.090 or 2:17.1 nearly for Acosta. Only 4/10 or nearly 4/10 of a second faster than Regan on the previous lap. So the guy's flying. So I don't see something happen to him.
Let me explain to you how we define the words fast or speed different. When I spoke to Abner Acosta pre-race, he told me,
mistake from Regan.
hold on. We'll come back to that. And see, Abner's teammate Elliott White actually is going to make the pass here after Regan makes a mistake. And that's going to put Precision Racing Esports 1-2 for the moment. And now Ted Lowendick's going to put under attack here the car.
Oh, he knows.
I think they're going to calm it out here. This is, by the way, the best way if you can see that crest here. If we ever get a backward shot from it, if we can remember, that'll be the best way to see the gap if we can between Abner, Acosta, and the field. But when I talked to Abner pre-race, he told me, I'm not up to speed yet. I'd hate to see Abner Acosta up to speed.
Same. He has a high I rating. I've commented on him on other series and even GT3s. The guy can drive, so.
One thing Abner told me as a hint for the race, he said, don't overheat the tires, and you have to find ways to cool them off if you do. But obviously he's found that trick, and he knows where the fountain of youth, so to speak, is for his tires. But we're now coming around to the 33-minute mark. We're about 8 minutes from halfway. Now, my question would be right here. Elliott White, Richard Regan, Ted Lowendick. I would think one of those... hold on, that's Cervantes again. Slow on track. I would think one of those three drivers I mentioned, by the way, that was for 2, 3, and 4, one of them needs to undercut the field. That means they need to pit first and get out of traffic and turn some clean laps. Which of the three do you think is most likely to do that undercut?
Regan.
Okay. This will be Danny Cervantes here. He's now going to spin to the outside. The equal opportunity spinner.
His tires. That's the problem. If you spin just once with these Xfinity cars, once you've done some laps into it, it's dead right impossible for you to keep this car on track and cool it down, especially on a track like this.
Hello, that's a 68. That was Mike Knight there on track, a resident of Georgia, with that all that all black paint. I think I can talk about that one without upsetting Dustin Olives. That's just a black car with white lettering. I think that one might be safe. We'll find out. I'm going to get yelled out my ears in a second. Here comes that pink Precision Racing Esports machine up to P2. Elliott White now will begin to see if he has anything to run down his teammate, or if they're content to be 1 and 2. Here's Mike Knight. Nope. Also did not get help. He just kind of got a little wide in the corner. I think he tried to let someone by there, Lorenzo, and just ran it a little too wide.
Yeah, just going, just a human mistake into the Corvette bridge. So unfortunate to see there, but it happens. And by the way, I don't know if you.
Here's that gap, by the way, real quick. Sorry, hold on a second. Here's that gap right there. That was Abner Acosta who just went by, and there's Elliott White.
Meow, meow, meow.
Sorry, go back to your point. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I don't know if you realize this, but this is, I think, might not be the first time in this season. If it is, if it isn't, you have to correct me. That both number 5, 1 are winning this race so far. In the trucks and also in the Xfinity.
Yeah, I know that Abner and Elliott have been 1-2 during races before, and I have to go back to the results see if they finished that way. I know back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway Super Speedway race a couple weeks ago, they were in position to be 1-2 before it just all broke loose. But let's go back to Patrick Kilgill in 13th and then Colton Lane in 14th. And we'll talk about Patrick for a second. I got a late race note on Patrick if I can pull that up here. Use the power of my iPhone 13 to make things happen.
Oh, hold up! I got you, man. I think.
I don't have that in the notes. I don't think. Actually.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay, this is.
That says
good then.
Yeah, Patrick. He was thinking about doing a start and park tonight due to some stuff being out of whack. These are his words. With his upper back, that was causing some different pains. But surprisingly, it doesn't feel any worse than behind the wheel. So we're gonna go ahead and run the full race, or at least as much as I can. That's how you know you're. That's how you know you're a race car driver, right? When you don't feel any more pain behind the wheel.
Yeah. It just powers through.
Unless it's a 24-hour race, then you feel that for the next week and a half, right?
Depends.
Let's watch Ian tonight. We saw him kind of get loose live here. That's to be the same car without a paint scheme on it right there, and he's just way out in the sand trap out in the kitty litter. Come and bring it back around, Lorenzo.
Yeah, just some major time loss. I think 2 positions lost for Knight right there, but keeps it on the track as now Regan is going to find himself into major trouble again with Lowendick just riding that draft, and Lowendick and Regan no draft whatsoever. Inside for Lowendick. Let's see that 72. Does he make that move stick? The number
block it.
Yep.
He does block. I thought Ted was going to get the line in the corner, but Regan moved over and blocked that. Both these guys are great drivers, very talented. Regan's definitely aggressive at times, but knows when to be and when not to be. And out here through this right-hander again.
Easy, Ted.
Now, right now, Lorenzo, we're going to ride backwards here. This is looking back at Lowendick from Richard Regan. Is this that part of the race where you start to kind of play that mental, negotiation with yourself? Like, well, I could get new tires now, and I would feel great, but then, I have more than half a race left. You start to kind of play that mental game with yourself at this point?
You do. 100%.
It's like you're hostage negotiating yourself or something, right?
Yeah, it's like the car is screaming for tire. You can definitely see Regan's car is screaming for tire. So it's kind of like, mommy, please, can we go shopping or do something else? Because it is bored and he wants to do something new. That's why it is basically those new tires will give you some new balance with new vigor in the car. But the problem is, if you drive this way the same way that you did on the previous stint, on this stint, it will just basically be a repeat of suffering through the latter portions of the stage. Whereas Lowendick might get the jump on you if he has actually saved more fuel down the line, because they have to come to the paint soon.
Let's go ahead and ride on board here, and then we'll finish up on that thought. I would agree with you, and I'd say also the thought for that would be also we're more than halfway through the race. So if you get new tires now, you'll
Joey,
you'll be in that same spot a little bit later. I think we're going to get a camera of a driver. I thought I heard my ears. Let's see if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to be Tebin, I don't think. But there we go. This is Mark Kalin we're riding on board with. And you see, look at that wheel movement. Now, talking to the difference here, obviously it's a road course and oval. But look how much that wheel's moving. Is that healthy?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, man.
But I think
looks like he's arm wrestling a bear. Look at that side. I just heard my ears. Richard Regan's on pit road, by the way.
Same for Kevin.
Mark Kalin, of course, stays out. He is going to go up to the top of the crest here and ride around another time here. There's Richard Regan all the way to the front, almost to the front of pit road. Watch that pit box time now. When we did F3 together last week, we noticed that pit deltas and pit stall times made all the difference in the world, right, Lorenzo?
Yeah, 100%. And Road America is another one of those tracks that it makes tremendous difference. You know, being aggressive on the approach to the cones. You don't have ABS, just like the F3s, but you don't have the braking capacity as the F3 does. So if you want to cut time on someone into the pit lane, he has to be on that entry, and that entry is quite difficult because it is on the top of the crest. So you have to be very precise on how you come into the pit box without getting a penalty.
That is definitely a concern. You don't want to get a penalty, so pit road access can be very important. Of course, this is a very tricky one. You're going up that hill on the pit road. We have a slow-mo shot there of the 48. That's one of those Whataback cars. That is Thomas Sink here in that orange Whataback. Reminds me of that Whataburger look with that orange kind of scheme out. You guys probably don't have Whataburgers out there where you live. Have you heard of Whataburger before, Lorenzo?
Sorry, what about burgers? I love burgers.
Yeah, yeah, it's a restaurant chain, I believe in the South, called Whataburger. Has that kind of look to it.
I think I heard about it.
Okay.
I think I heard about the Whataburger, but I think I've never been to one. Well, you live in the South. I think the most south I ever been was Louisiana. So you're
that's pretty south. That's geography-wise, that's pretty south, sir. You don't get much more south than Louisiana.
Really? Oh, I thought Texas would be more south than
Texas.
Louisiana.
I mean, you can, but I'm saying compared to most states, Louisiana's.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty far down there. Well, right now we're watching Thomas Sink here, and Jeff Evans. Here's right now 2 more cars down pit road. Of course, Abner Acosta, as you see on the top left of your screen, is still riding on those tires, and right now he can just cruise. I mean, the gap he had before the pit stops is already impressive. Just slow down, Abner Acosta. Don't burn up those tires. And I suspect we'll see him come probably next time, maybe 2 more laps at most, I would think.
Yeah, I would say even this lap, because I think he's going to split the field, for 12 laps. Basically going to do about 30, 20 something minutes, 25 minutes. So you done half of the race into it. So you're going to get fresh rubber for you to push on the second half of the stint. So good move on Abner. I think McLaughlin and White as well. McLaughlin is in a premier position to jump a few spots on the pit road if his in-lap is really clean. Wouldn't be the first time I would see McLaughlin do the kind of stuff and work out for him, by the way.
Yep, and of course the risk that Abner is running by staying out is these new tires will be faster. And so at least in the short term, these guys can run Abner Acosta down a little bit while they're on those newer tires.
Good luck.
I mean, that speed difference will definitely help you. This is going to be Ted Lowendick here with Bradley Holly right behind us. We said Bradley Holly, your winner last week at Pocono.
What surprised me a little bit is...
Hello.
Bradley showing his Goldilocks.
Bradley, of course, has that iconic hair photo for his RaceSpot profile photo. While this is going on, coming back around to the track, let's see if we can find Abner Acosta. Is he going to pit this time is the question. He is down pit road. There he is. There's a nice behind kind of drone-ish style shot. Abner Koskis go all the way down pit road. See that pit delta counting here.
By the way, Lowendick's gap was about a full second on Regan at a certain point. 6 seconds now separate them, so something happened to Lowendick at a certain point that made him go really slow. As McLaughlin as well is in, and everybody else that pitted in this race, or Daniel Knight, well, he has to commit anyway, are all done.
We'll take a look at some pit stall times in just a moment. Let's see here. Update here in just a moment. Yeah, so we're going to look at some pit stop times here. Let's see. It looks like everyone's pretty even, 45.7. Actually, identical for Elliott White and Richard Regan. I see 45.7 delta and almost identical. 14.4 on Elliott White and a 14.5 for Regan. So the pit deltas are nothing too crazy here. Ted Lowendick, what did he do? 47 seconds. He had almost a 1 second longer pit stop. So that may be the mystery of what happened to Ted Lowendick.
But it has to be something more, because that would occur about 2 to 3 seconds on Lowendick on gap. So I think his outlap must have been very sluggish for the gap to extend over 5 seconds and be nearly 6 seconds between the number 56 and the number 72.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if we can figure out what happened to him here. We're going to wait and see what's going to happen here. And if we can have any battles here. Now, of course, we are also talking about undercutting when talking about your concerns about pit stop times as well. Regan, of course, pitted the lap earlier than some other contenders, so that may result in a little bit of that difference as well.
True, that is very true, but from what it looks like, he has one more lap on Lowendick and one more lap also on Holly, so I don't think that one lap would have been the biggest factor to make the difference.
This, of course, is the battle on screen for 3rd and 4th. It was a second ago. Now we're going to flip around here. Now the battle for P7. This is Joey Tebben and... Sorry, you're right. That's 66. Up to 06. I apologize. That's Thomas Sink and Nick McLaughlin here. I'll tell you what. Let's do this for a lap or so. Hold on. Let's watch this battle before I say anything else. Nick is definitely putting the pressure on to Thomas Sink here. We're going to come up the crest to complete another lap here. You know what? Let's do this. All right. Oh, hold on. We're going to make a pass here. Oh, everything's going to pull in line. Let's do this. We're going to ride on board with Nick McLaughlin for a lap. The Lorenzo and I are going to lay out, and you're going to enjoy the sights and sounds of RaceSpot fan immersion here at Road America. All right, and as you see on the top of your screen, Abner Acosta, while we're in our fan immersion mode, set a new fastest lap of 2:14.113. So nothing is slowing down our road course ringer. Now, I have a question for you, Lorenzo. Now, obviously, for the Road America, these are the only cars of the 3 NASCAR series that are going to come here in this season. But I'm going to put you on the spot here. Rank these in order for me. If you had to race here, the Xfinities, the trucks, and the next-gen cars, in what order would you want to race those cars at Road America?
Next, bottom to top.
Most preferred first, please.
Most preferred first Xfinity.
Okay, and then trucks or next-gen?
Trucks.
Wow. I think a lot of people would probably say Xfinity with you. I personally am not a fan of this car. I think I have a hard time with it. But I think the truck over next gen, I think there might be some debate there.
So here's the thing. I agree. And this is, and I was holding myself to say this because I think I said this on the broadcast before. I truly detest driving the Cup car around Joey. That is going to be reportable. That is going to be sent to Nim Cross, and your racing.
That's using all the track right there.
Yeah. I get this spot up. But anyway, coming back, I truly detest racing the Cup car around a road track because it is impossible for you to drive, and this is something that I got not just from my teammates, but I got also from drivers that are driving in the top, like in the top in the NASCAR. They do not appreciate the car on the road. It's not driver friendly. Well, it's not meant to be driver friendly, but anyways, it is very, very hard.
Yeah, unless you're Bobby Zalenski.
Unless you're Bobby Zalenski or Mitchell DeYoung or Keegan Leahy. But then again, they're quite the drivers. Sorry, just coming back. Or even Donovan Strauss. Donovan is really decent on the road. He drives for Williams. He used to drive for Joey, keep that car on the track. I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, Joey's having a hard time here. I mean, you can kind of see. The question I would have is Joey pushing too hard, or is he just maybe the tires are just? I mean, we're only 10 minutes into new tires. He hasn't worn them out already yet.
No, 4 laps in, I think he just overdrove them too much. But anyway, going back to Xfinity. I think Xfinity out of the 3 cars is the easiest. Trucks, for all it is, by being a pandemonium on slow laps, it is much more drivable than the Cup cars on iRacing than the Cup car itself. The Cup car, let's just say the Crest of Road America, these guys are taking flat out. You cannot take flat out, or it's very hard for you to take flat out with worn tires. Around Road America on the Cup car.
Yeah. Agree with that. I'm getting word in my ears that Daniel Knight may have crashed again, unfortunately, but now we're watching the battle here on screen. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is Richard Regan, Ted Lowendick, and Bradley Holly. We're hearing we're hearing Daniel Knight spun it, so he may be okay. But once again, Ted Lowendick here still has Richard Regan under attack. Now, I know that Ted Lowendick, I believe to be a classy enough driver. I don't see a world where he uses the bumper to make the pass, but he's going to get all up on Richard Regan anytime possible.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to try to find a clean way to go through in his Camaro, so it's all about waiting for the perfect moment to strike on Regan's Supra. So let's just wait. Just wait if the 72 is going to do this. The problem is,
so the good news for Abner Acosta today, although the points difference from 1st and 2nd is not massive, Lorenzo, he gets that point for taking the pole. He gets points for leading a lap. Now, because of that pit cycle, ironically enough, he has still, as far as I can tell, led every lap. No one passed him during pit cycle. So right now, he's holding all those bonus points away from Richard Regan, so he won't make up a lot of points. He came into tonight down 21. He won't make all of them up, but he'll definitely cut into it.
No, he's gonna be about like what, 15-ish.
Yeah, so that's a good
Here's
run.
Lowen
Here.
Dick. I thought he was gonna go for the dive.
I thought he was gonna make the move too into this corner. He is
Oh,
gonna
he
make the
is.
move. Side by side through the corner, but not gonna close. Hold on. I thought he was gonna close the deal, and then Regan got loose. Wow, this is a nice 3-car battle. In fact, I think now what's happening is Bradley. Oh, hold on.
No!
Oh no, that's gonna be Ted Lowendick going around. I was about to say, I think Bradley Holly was getting in the way of that battle because it wasn't allowing Lowendick to use all the track. And then, unfortunately, Bradley caused that spin there. Now, the good news for Lowendick so far, only losing 1 spot because of that big gap they had back to Jeff Evans. But still not a, not the news you want.
Yeah, unfortunate right there, but I don't blame Bradley. I think that was his own his lane. Just maybe some, maybe a little bit of the bug, but other than that, I think that was just rubbing his racing, and unfortunately, Ted just got the short end of the stick.
Let's find out what happens here. My opinion was going to be a little different, but let's wait and see here. We're on board with Bradley Holly, and I don't know. That first wiggle to the left of the wheel I think he made contact with Ted Lowendick, and then I think they were just stuck together afterwards.
Yeah, but I don't think that was intentional. Because
No, definitely not intentional.
And personally speaking, I don't think that Holly could do much more than that, because was he on the grass, that would have been a 3-car accident. I think he just tried to do his best, stay on his lane, and
I mean, that said, though...
Hold up,
on.
here we go.
This is the unpainted Joey Tevin car. And picked up a little farming, little lawn mowing grass, and picked up a side job. Let me make $20 mowing a lawn.
That's $20 bucks? You would give Joey $20 for that?
I mean, I wouldn't, but some people would. Like, this is a rich part of Wisconsin. Oh, hold on. He can stop. That's good news for Evans. He could have really hit that wall hard. Ooh, look at that car wiggle behind him. Who was that? Yes, it is. That's no?
Yeah, McLaughlin.
Right. Well, there you go. That catches up on a couple of the battles we had. Listen, we're down to less than 10 minutes. We've already burned through about 40 minutes of this race. You see the cheese sign there. I'm going to ask you as we round out our night of coverage here soon on Race Spot, Lorenzo. What is your favorite kind of cheese?
Oh, you put me on the spot right there. I like this question. Parmesan and provolone. I'm Italian. I'm Italian. I'm half Italian, so.
Oh yeah, you'll get in trouble if you don't say that, won't you?
Yeah, hold up. There's another one.
Speaking of trouble,
is it Gorgonzola?
That's a good one as well. I'm a pepper jack kind of guy.
Yeah, I can understand it. Yeah, no, but Dustin says about.
Yeah, we're getting told in our ears you have to do ham and Swiss. Let me ask you a follow-up question though.
Okay.
The rest of your life, you can only pick one. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
You can only put bacon or cheese on a hamburger. Now, mind you, we're in the cheese state, so I'm going to ask you that, but take your time. We got 8 minutes left.
No. Cheese.
Cheese, all right.
Yeah, because you already got the protein into the hamburger. If we're thinking about there's a burger with some meat on it, so by default, you'd be adding some fatness with the bacon. The cheese kind of like gives you also the fatness and some other extra stuff because it is cheese. It is like derivative of milk, so because of it, I think you get more nutrients from the cheese rather than the bacon. But taste-wise, obviously the bacon. But I'm team cheese all the way.
There you go. Well, that is the wise thoughts of Lorenzo here. Now we're going to ride on with Mark Kalin on the top of your screen and see he just barely touched the sand there. Now he's going to get past side by side here through that little bit of that curving S's here. Now, this live is Richard Regan and Bradley Holly. They've been in the battle here for third and fourth this whole time we've been debating cheese. I'm going to tell you that the reason I said cheese, for the record, is you've never heard of a bacon hamburger. They make bacon cheeseburgers. You've never heard of a bacon hamburger before. Like, at least I haven't. So that's how I came to my decision. Plus, I can get bacon-flavored cheese. They have it at Costco. Like, I can make that happen. So that's where I came to my thoughts there. But
yeah, but I get your point. It's kind of like I've seen bacon hamburger, like bacon burgers, but like the McDonald's and things like that.
I've never seen anyone serve a bacon hamburger. So, all right, if you've seen one, I trust you. But I'm just saying I've
seen it at McDonald's. Trust me.
Well, just because it happens at McDonald's doesn't mean it should really happen. That's what I'm saying.
All right, if we're going to a proper burger joint, hold up. What is that joint in Philadelphia that is kind of like famous?
Well, that's cheesesteaks. That's a whole different thing.
All right, that's cheesesteak.
That's very different. That's very, very different. But say what's not different is this battle is happening here. Now, the one thing that sticks to mind, and I don't mean this as a negative on Bradley, I think Bradley's a little bit more willing to maybe say hello with the chrome horn than Ted Lowendick was. So if I was Richard Regan, I'd be slightly more concerned for my last lap than I was when Ted Lowendick. You saw the big, beautiful blimp up in the sky, by the way. Nice job by our producer catching that in the background for a second. Now look at this here. It's going to be Bradley moving to the outside of turn one here. In your opinion, Lorenzo, can you make a pass on the outside of one, or do you have to be to the inside of one?
You have to be at the inside. You can make on the outside, but you have to be side by side already.
Man, looks like Bradley Holly's getting impatient, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and this is not working out for them at any rate whatsoever. You know, 2:19.2 for Regan, whereas Lowendick one second and a half faster. So this could be doomed for both of them if they do not get this done and dusted, especially Holly done and dusted in the next 2 laps. Well, we're gonna have like 2 more laps, give or take. So.
Yep, this is the battle for third and fourth. Abner Acosta's got a humongous lead. Hold on.
Whoa.
They both did it. By the way, that as a race car driver, Lorenzo, will drive you nuts because sometimes you do get this odd moment where you kind of follow the leader, so to speak, and you end up making the same mistakes they do. That's easier to replicate than you think, right?
Much easier.
How many times have you followed the car in front of you into a wall?
Never. No, I'm just kidding. Many times.
Yeah. If you just said never, I was like, wow, all right. Good for you. You guys never ran a race before then. So right now, Abner Acosta has a humongous lead on Elliott White. And then there's a bigger gap back here to third and fourth. So that's what this battle is. This is our closest battle on track that I can find. We've seen a lot of drivers who are turning some laps here. I think not even that. No, there's really nothing else within 4 seconds of each other. Maybe Nick McLaughlin-Thomas Sink might be the next closest one Sink and Evans, I'm sorry, are a second apart. We might catch them in a second. But we're watching a great battle. It looks like Bradley Hyde's getting impatient, Lorenzo. I keep seeing him move around, trying to find that moment in time, so to speak.
I think he's trying to find the grip in the car the best way he can while still maintaining toe to Regan. You're going to see him draft it to right into the toe of Regan again. You're going to see already Regan covering the inside. 1, 2, 3-ish. Already covering the inside a little bit. Going to the middle. Bring it back into turn number 1. And nothing that Holly can do. He's just trying to set himself up because he just cannot ride a draft.
Less than 3 minutes to go, so guessing 2 laps or 3 at most to go here at Road America and the PRL Xfinity Series. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching along with us. Of course, all week long on RaceSpot, you can catch different PRL races. Sunday nights is the Cup Series. That's Terry Radford and others filling in. Monday nights is the GR86, followed by the LMP3 GT4 multi-class race. Tuesdays are GT3s. Wednesday, you come in here to see trucks and Xfinity. And then Thursday nights is F3. That is always an exciting series with lots of dramatic moments. Now, speaking of with exciting moments all week long, let's watch Charles Sumner here. 98 machine way in the grass. And look at that. Really, honestly, Wenzo, held a straight line. How do you do that?
I thought no. Hold up, both Dustin's Joey's off. All right, I'll go back after we see another moment of Joey off the track.
Not sure if we have that ready yet.
But actually, since we don't have that up, it's easy. Just go off the throttle.
Yeah, that's true. You get up the throttle. That's the thing a lot of racers get wrong here. I think we're trying to save a car. We'll hopefully get a replay of Joey Tebbin off track in a second. Here it is.
Here it is.
Missed the corner.
Oh.
He's still racing. Let's find out.
Skill issue.
If we can go live, is Joey Tebbin still moving? He looks like he is. He's still moving, but slow. This has now turned into a multi-class race right here, Lorenzo. Oh, Joey was all over the back of, who is that?
That's Daniel Knight.
That is Daniel Knight. They're racing for, no, they're not racing for, yes, they are, I think.
They are. That's the battle for the lead.
All over that
the
back
wheel.
bumper. Get to it. Get on it, Tebbin.
That's the battle for the lead.
Here's Thomas Sink and Jeff Evans here on now your main screen. By the way, white flag is out here at Road America. We've been watching all this action, and I kind of forgot that white flag part. But Abner Acosta still pacing the field here.
Wondering where does Holly go for the move?
I think it's going to be any moment now in multiple places. Find out. Right in this unique left side camera here.
If I'm Holly, I did not stand over here.
This is I believe 5 and 6, correct?
You
Missed it.
played
You really
yourself.
lost a lot of time.
You played yourself.
And I think that might be the last shot he's going to get here to get around Richard Regan. Let's find out.
Oh, hold up.
He got in the grass, though.
We still have Canada corner. Don't forget about that.
Coming around here, this is, of course, is our white flag lap, so we're going to race it through and see what happens. But right now, Richard Regan has a pretty comfortable lead here.
And I think with 28 seconds, that cost is right by Canada corner, I think, or right outside Canada corner.
Watching him on a second screen here, he is nearing the end of this race.
Oh,
Oh, hold on.
oh no!
Regan in the wall. They're going to touch.
Oh no!
They both save it. There's going to be Abner Acosta taking the win here at Road America, but the action is going to continue now. Bradley Holly to the outside is going to try to hold that corner, and no, he's not. How did he keep in the grass and not kill him? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That's going to deserve a post-race replay right before we do our results.
I'm really looking forward for an interview as well, if we could.
Yeah, we're going to definitely ask both of them what happened in that moment, depending upon what we see in the replay. All right, well, here it is. This is official. Elliott White's already crossed. That's going to be Regan third, Bradley Holly fourth here at Road America. See, that's Barney the flagman. That's why he had the night off at Richmond.
Oh, smart man, smart man.
Two places at once. Hello, there's a nice send right there.
Yeah, night on Calgill, so...
I'll go.
Oh, save it? Nice. I never thought it would be having wild reaction at 3:34 a.m. in Portugal.
That's the beauty of PRL. You never know when the next moment's going to happen. Right, that's it. I'm going to add to come across on the That's round Mark Kalen. Our last car. Under traditional slice. I want to see a right play. Richard getting in Bradley Holly. Before we're going to all that is going to get out here on RaceSpotTV Wednesday night or Thursday morning, whatever it is for you.
Is Joey going to get into the top 15 or be at the end of the top 15? He was losing time. He was losing time to Mike Knight.
Yeah, Mr. Tebbin is still on track, actually. Let's see if we can
Here we go.
find it in here. That is not Mr. Tebbin.
Oh, that
There
is
he is.
Kevin.
Now, injured 06 machine.
Oh, he opened up a gap
He
to
is
Knight.
in
He looked like
14th and
Lord
trying to
Knight.
hold. Yeah, trying to hold up Knight for 15. There you go. That's gonna be Joey Tebben in 14th, Mike Knight in 15th, right behind him. All right, well, let's go back and see it. We all had a moment. There was a moment where our producers in our ears freaking out as much as we were. This is going to be Richard Regan and Bradley Holly. Man, Regan just lost it. Got in the wall. Make contact here. And I think Holly lifted to be safe, and then that's what allowed Regan to get back to the inside corner. They're going to touch again right... Nope, I guess not. Holly's just going to lift right there and get in the brakes to avoid any more contact.
No, actually, Holly overshot the corner.
Yeah, that too.
He tried to outbrake Regan into kind of the corner and just kind of like just by I think a few meters outbroke himself. You're gonna see that 1, 2 started braking. Not good. Locks in, and that's all she wrote.
All she wrote indeed. Well, let's go and take a look here. After that's over at our official results, of course, Abner Akasi, you see him there. He's going to be your winner. That is the winning moment. Easy for me to say. The hell that was. Abner Akasi is in first. Elliott White's in second. Richard Regan Jr. is in third. Bradley Holly is in fourth with Ted Lowendick behind him. Nick McLaughlin, Jeff Evans, Thomas Sink, Adam Zimke, and Mark Kalin round out your top 20. Oh, your top 10. Wow, that's a long night, guys. I am so sorry. Charles Summers in 11th. Daniel Knight's in 12th. Patrick Calgo's in 13th. Josie Tebben is in 14th with Mike Knight, your last car on the lead lap. You got Nicholas Hunter 1 lap down. Mike Witt 2 laps down. Jim Musterfield 3 laps down. Danny Cervantes 8 laps down. And then Colton Lane rounds out your top 20 this time. And then Brett Cooper and Doug Evans. And then, of course, Abner Akasi, no surprise, on lap 14, your fastest lap of the race. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's have some conversations tonight. Let's start with race winner, Mr. Abner Acosta. Abner, it's a road course, and you're in victory lane. This feels familiar, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is my strength, I guess, in the series, so I definitely got to take advantage of these, so that's what I did.
You definitely do, indeed. And of course, your teammate Elliott White took second, so Richard Regan's back in third. So you'll pick up some points on the run tonight. And now there's 2 more road courses left. Which one of those 2 are you most looking forward to?
Is one of those walk-ins? I can't even remember them.
Yeah, we have the Indy Road Course and Watkins Glen.
Actually, I do like the Indy. Weirdly enough, I do like the Indy Road Course. I would say Indy is probably my favorite one out of those 2. But yeah, I'm looking forward to both. I basically need to do the same thing I did today to close up the guy, Richard. And, you know, the last race is going to be Daytona, so it's a roll of the dice, so we'll see what happens.
Roll of the dice, indeed. So you were the last one to pit today, so inevitably we would want to thank you. Maybe saved the most of your tires. How do you accomplish that? Are you willing to talk about that?
I actually had not thought even about strategy that much. I honestly, when I thought about just going until, you know, I was actually staving before I pitted. And I thought, honestly, I think I could have made it to the end if I like staved even more. But once I saw that everybody started pitting, I kind of panicked and pitted to just, you know, I need the points. So, but my plan was to go long and see where my fuel was at, and I think I could have made it. But yeah, I just panicked and pitted. And yeah, just in regards to the tires, just with this car, you just have to be really easy on the throttle. When you get far ahead, you can just lift and coast the corners if you can, and that's how you get to that point.
There you go. Well, you went wire to wire tonight. You took the pole. You led every lap. You won the race. Not much more to do, but to thank some people. Who do you want to say hello to?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammate Elliott, everybody at PRL Esports and at PRL that make this league happen. Thank you guys at RaceSpot for broadcasting, and everybody else on the league. Thank you.
All right. Well, Abner, congrats on the win tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Well, after talking with Abner Acosta, the only appropriate thing to do, I think, is to talk to his teammate Elliott White, and he's with Lorenzo.
So Elliott, P2 in this race propels you a little bit into the championship standings, and you got to feel happy about that. Not just you brought yourself some good points, but also the team as well, since your teammate Abner won the race.
Yeah, I think I think I'm focused on team points a little more in the championship or the drivers championship. I just kind of wanting to have fun with it this season. So you know, getting points with Abner is great. But I mean, he's also going pretty hard this season. He's doing really well. So I hopefully he does well in the drivers championship himself.
Yeah, most definitely. And talk us through real quick, you know, how is it to drive a car like this going against, you know, competition directly in like Reagan, Tadlow, and Dick, nearly going side by side. You actually went side by side at one point when you actually went for P2, but how is he navigating this car in a track that is not easy on the race tires?
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of those cars on road courses that it's so much less about racing your competition, more about racing the track and racing yourself, and just, you know, staying steady and making sure you're not slipping the rear tires, because it's so easy with the horsepower, and particularly on this track it was a lot about under braking. It took me like almost the whole race to start to get comfortable with the braking. So I'm kind of lucky I didn't have a ton of side-by-side action. I was worried about having to, you know, try to actually pass because I was a little bit anxious under brakes towards at the beginning, but it was gradually getting better throughout.
Definitely, and with that really good result now, P2, how do we keep moving forward into this championship? You know, you're probably going to get into P3, of course, barring the drop points and everything, or even closer to P3, but where do we go from here? Which track do you think favors you the most in terms of not just road and oval, so you can keep that good streak going?
I mean, I guess I would say the road courses favor us. I mean, I don't particularly feel like I'm good at them per se. I don't do them that often, but we tend to have good runs. But I'm also glad that the ovals that are left. I mean, I enjoy super speedway racing Daytona, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, whether it works out or not remains to be seen. But Michigan, I love the big speedways, even when it's not a drafting track. I think Michigan's really fun. Tracks like that, like California, I really enjoy them. I'm glad we don't have any more short tracks, to be honest. I think that's my weak spot for sure.
Oh, that's good to know. And Alien, well, we'll let you rest, man. We'll see you next week in Michigan. Let's see if you can come up to the racing, to the broadcast booth and talk to us again.
I appreciate you guys as always. Thanks for the broadcast.
All right. Well, that is Elliott White. He finished second tonight. Let's go ahead and pull in our third place finisher. That is Richard Regan. Richard, you had to battle a lot of the evening, realistically, and up to the final lap here. How nervous were you when you hit that wall in the last lap that you were going to get passed by Bradley Holly?
I don't know, man. I just made a lot of mistakes tonight. And, you know, the thing about me hitting the wall in that last lap, I literally said to myself after Brad spun his tires, I'm like, all right, I don't even really got to push. And then I think I took it a little easy. And then when I went to get back on the throttle, because I wasn't going through the center as fast as I normally was, it just caught me by surprise. And, yeah, I almost cost myself a P3. But congrats to Abner. We kind of knew this was coming with all these road courses, so I got hit pretty hard with the drop week and the points. I had like a 35-point lead on him, and then coming in tonight, I only had like a 20-point lead, so I lost like 15 points with the drop, and gonna lose about maybe 9 or 10 more points tonight. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough trying to get that championship, but it's kind of the card that we're dealt with all these road courses and super speedways.
Well, you're doing a great job at managing it. Of course, the last week of the season, of course, is the biggest wild card. That's Daytona. Who knows? Who knows what happens there, right? I mean, that's why we love Daytona, because anyone could win it. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I'd rather do Daytona 10 weeks in a row than have 3 road courses or 4 road courses this season, to be honest with you.
Well, there you have it. We can maybe get Charles Sumner to line and see if we can make that happen for you. If you want to just do, I don't know, would it be Talladega, Daytona, iRacing Super Speedway? We could line them up for you.
Yeah, don't forget old Daytona in there.
Old Daytona, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
maybe even Indianapolis Motor Speedway just to spice it up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I love Indy Oval. It's a shame that we still don't go there. Like next week in 2 weeks should be the Oval, not the road course. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I have one last question for you, a little off topic tonight. Of course, we're in the cheese state of Wisconsin for this race tonight. There's that big Sargento cheese board there in one of the corners. So, Richard Regan, what is your favorite kind of cheese?
American? I don't know. I mean, I'm not that big of a cheese guy, so I'm a very picky eater. But yeah.
All right, well, let's try one more then, since you're kind of basic. Let's try this again. The rest of your life, you can only put bacon or cheese on a hamburger. What should you pick?
Bacon.
That is the wrong answer.
I know it is in your eyes, but not mine. Because I don't even eat cheese with my cheeseburgers.
But they're not cheeseburgers.
Yeah, it's a hamburger.
Oh my goodness, Richard Regan, we got to do some work with you. I'm a big fan, but sometimes less is more, I think.
Hey, I hacked it up on the track tonight, and now I'm making myself look stupid on the interview. But it is what it is. I got to give a shout out to everyone at Regenbogen Motorsports. Unfortunately, Brett, I don't know what happened to him early, and Danny's wheel keeps turning off on him. So that's great for the team points. And got to give a shout out to everyone at Dirty South Racing, Matt Long, Andrew Dyson, Bobby Anderson, Jim, Neil, Taylor Stout, everybody at PRL, and you guys at RaceSpot.
We appreciate having you. Richard, good job tonight. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
All right, well, that's I'm going to wrap us up here from Road America. Lorenzo, what are your final thoughts?
Well, some highlights of the race, lots of really good battles between Hadley, Lowendick, and also Reagan. The domination from Acosta, not even surprised that came as dominant as he was. The low line, of course, is definitely Joey Tabin. I think he needs to reevaluate his skills with the race car around a road racetrack until we got the Commentators Electric Boogaloo Part 3. So other than that, really good race. Looking forward to see what we got next week.
Yep, next week is a doubleheader at Michigan. Of course, these cars will be here, as well as the trucks. The broadcast will start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. At the conclusion of the Truck Series race, we'll move here to Xfinity cars. Well, for everyone here at RaceSpot, thank you for tuning in. For my producer, my ears, Dustin Ollis. For Lorenzo Bonder, I am Derek Watson saying, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow for F3 Action.